did. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yo,
Oh shit!
what
I
is
didn't even
go-
see him. What
Yo,
are we
what
doing?
is going? We are live right now. Can I say hi to the chat? To the people
Hell
in the
no!
chat?
What's the
Chat.
topic for the week? I don't know, ladies and
Dude, I
gentlemen.
put him in twice. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. As you can see, we already started early, or some might say we started on time, since now it is 5 after 7. Maybe, we started building up at 7 o'clock. Maybe we should have gone live at that point in time. But you know me, I had to make sure everything was straight. I got my topics over here to the right. I got my coffee to the left. It's good to see everybody in the chat, guys. You know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button because Next Podcast is live another Thursday. And here we go. And shout out to TK Chillin' for hitting up that super chat already. Dude, I see you, brother. He said, "What's up?" Brother, what is up with you? We are getting ready to have an amazing show. I absolutely love the topics that we have here. And we have another first ever special guest. And as usual, I'm going to save the special guest intro for last. But one thing I want to say about this dude is I remember seeing him in the chats a lot when it comes to the Next Podcast, seeing him in the Series X and stuff like that. And it is so awesome to actually have him on as a guest right now. And I'm excited for tonight's show. But let me introduce the usual band of criminals that call themselves gamers on this show. Let me start with the Connecticut resident, as well as myself, the brother who goes hard on Gears, anything Gears, and somehow, some way, he will spin a topic to talk about Gears. Of course it is Crispy. What is up, bro?
What's up, dude? I haven't played Gears in like 4 days, so how about that?
4 days, dude. Are you going through withdrawal right now? Are you like shaking, cold sweats, stuff like that, man? How are you doing? 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days, and of course, I'm watching the dev stream as we speak. Just seeing some people play some new maps and stuff. So, I was playing a little Rise the other night, and then went on the golf that
Yes.
Sir X Man hooked me up with. Thank you once again, Sir X. And I'm actually enjoying that game. It's very very fun.
Dude,
It takes skill.
You're
and
good at that game, man. What's your character's name, by the way?
Olga Bomb. Yeah.
Olga Bomb. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I gave Olga an upgrade too, so she doesn't look quite as intimidating.
Oh,
she looks more normal now, bot. Come on.
Really?
Yeah. She became worthy. So there you go.
Okay. Yo, shout out to Sir X Man hitting up the super chat, dude. It is good to see you, brother. He said Crispy is a golfer now. Remember. Yo, bro, he is a golfer, and for some rhyme or reason, the two guys who have female characters, they slam the ball off the tee, like they got human growth hormone or something like that, man. They do the Mark McGuire injection method or something, man. I don't know, but they smack the ball off the tees, yeah. But Crispy, as always, it is good to have you on. Let's get down the line here. Let's introduce the next guy from the Lone Star State. And not only is he a gamer who, I gotta say, mostly plays, I would say, on PC right now. He's leaning more towards the PC Master Race, I think. But he also gets into the business side of gaming as well. Predator, what is up, bro?
But man, why you sound salty every time you say that I play on PC? Like,
I had to lower the chat's expectations, man. When it comes down to it,
they can have whatever expectations they want to have. I don't care. Like, it's my money.
Oh.
Y'all start tipping me on my OnlyFans, and I'll start playing more of my Xbox. I'm supposed to whisper this. I'm supposed to whisper and talk like this, though.
No, you already broke that. You already broke that, so you can't do. Oh man.
Sorry, Dark, when you hear this, but yeah, man, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I got that shit knocked out. I actually played a little Destiny. I didn't play a lot on my Xbox One X.
Oh, dude, you didn't.
But...
Was I online then? Did you check the?
No. No, I don't think you're online. I didn't play a lot. I played maybe that first mission that you do to get through that. I did that, and then I did a little bit on the PS5 for a little bit. I kind of bounced around a little bit, and then I went back to finally got started on Call of Duty, so on the PC side. So I mean, ready for Cyberpunk now. I'll play a little bit of Destiny between here and there until it comes out, and then when Cyberpunk comes out, the rest of the year is pretty much done. So I'll be on Cyberpunk. I'll be on Cyberpunk until probably like mid-January.
Yo, there's people fiending for Cyberpunk to come out. It's like when it's right around the corner, you know, one of those highly anticipated games.
Expectations are low, man. Expectations are low. I haven't
really
seen this be a buggy, mass of shit in the beginning.
A buggy mass of shit, dude.
That's another podcast we could save for later when it actually releases. But you just heard it here now first. I just think it's gonna be buggy as fuck. We're
gonna have the Cyberpunk complaints podcast after it releases, man, and it's going to be headed by Predator himself. Well, Pred, as always, it is good to have you on. I can't wait to hear your opinions. We got some fire topics going down. It's going to be an interesting night, bro. So I hope everybody is strapped in, ready to go. Let me move on to the man who was with me from the beginning. The first person I talked to about doing a podcast with, that is right. And I was not sent to him by any other person. I was strictly the first person I thought of with doing a podcast, coming live from the 405. And you know, he's only talking to the intelligent gamers out there. K Mega, what is up, bro?
What's up, man? I'm still not got paid on this damn shit. I was promised payment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Something, leasing nickels and dimes or something. They ain't got nothing.
Man, who lied to you there?
Oh man, how much I got? I mean, Crispy already told me how much he makes. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Really? Y'all make money?
Hey, so that's what it is. No, I'm playing anyway. As
you
usual,
pulled the card on me. Oh no.
As usual, man. It's good to be here with my family, man. With the first family. Man, I just been doing my thing, man. Gaming, been working on the podcast. So hopefully GRG will be right. I'm back on Discord, baby. So I will definitely have to put that link.
I joined that today, man.
Yeah, man. I've been had Discord forever. And I've said I'm gonna start it, then I don't. Then this time I'm staying on it. I'm staying on Discord. So guys, I'll definitely have a link for you guys for if you come and check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night.
Well, you're
there on the channel. Just period.
You're a moderator, right? You're a moderator on my channel. If you want to throw the link in the chat, you can definitely do that, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, appreciate it. Yeah, I'll throw the link in the chat, so I appreciate that. But yeah, come and check out the stuff, man. Did a lot of work, man. Had to give a big shout out to Jay Centuries because he helped me out a lot with that. Mm-hmm. It took almost a week to figure that shit out. It was almost just as bad as I was trying to figure out OBS when you was trying to help me out by it. Like that was crazy.
Dude, I still remember I sent you a video.
Bro, I was getting so frustrated, man, for the stuff. 108 Don, Jay, and you, bro. They know when they're trying to teach me something, I'm trying to learn. I get frustrated as hell because I'm like, God dang!
He gets mad at us. You know, he gets mad.
Yeah, I get mad at y'all. Like, what is this? What is this? Why is that working? Anyway, but man, so I need to be using it. But anyway, man, I've been playing the hell out of Call of Duty Cold War, man. I mean, I was playing with Addict and Kid Smooth and Nick and other people and Buddha and we've just been going in co-workers, and so like I've gotten really into game down sites. I mean we just been going in and of course fight night doing the thing. But yeah, I do want to start playing Destiny because I know that they're going to do start over. So then finally I could probably get in you guys and I probably won't be yelled at by Knox or anybody else. So I can just go ahead and start learning how to play. And then, of course, just like Fred, I can't wait for Cyberpunk. So it's going to be a gaming month for me for sure. So I'm excited.
All right, brother. All right. Well, now that we got through the panel, and shout out to our brother Dark Optimus, who can't be here today. He said something about straining his testicle. I think he's in the hospital right now. Something like that. I don't know, man. So, you know, prayers to Dark Optimus and his strained testicle. But yo, We have
ice and butter, man. Ice and butter.
Ice and butter. We have a first ever special guest, and I am proud to introduce this man, up and coming YouTuber. He is you've seen him at least guest star on a bunch of podcasts, and you know, it was only a matter of time before he was on this show as well. You definitely know him from the chat. He is somebody that has been in the chat for next podcast, talking about the topics or whatnot, being interactive, being like a really good community member. But not only is he up and coming YouTuber, he is also a Twitch streamer, and you can find him in the community on Twitter, and all those links are in the description below. I am proud to introduce Fun Speculation, aka Mav, to the next podcast. What is up, brother?
How's it going? I am excited to be here. Thank you for having me. It's about time, Xbot.
It's about damn time, right?
Saying.
Like, yeah, I'm
no.
late for everything, bro.
No, and I'm excited for you to be on my show tomorrow. It should be fun too. So that is tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So you'll be hanging out with us on that podcast. So I've been wanting to be on this show for a long time. I've been watching from the behind the scenes. So it's a good thing to get to talk to K Mega and Predator, and I've talked to Crispy on a few shows now.
Mm-hmm.
Played some games with them as well. So yeah, this is awesome to talk about games. I love doing it. I can't wait to do some more of it today. And let's get to it, man.
Nice. And shout out to my brother Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He said Crispy is waiting to smoke K Mega in golf. Brother, hold on, Crispy, you didn't play when K Mega did, right?
No, I didn't.
No, but guess what?
After.
Neither did Sir X-Man either. Oh, Sir X-Man, we had K Mega in. We had him playing already, brother. Where were you? What was going on?
And I was getting down until I got the bad news about my uncle, and then everything kind of changed up. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I got it. Let's get it. I'm ready to play it.
They got a season pass now too, brother.
Hey, and check this out. You know what? If Crispy smokes me in that's cool, because that's the only game he can smoke me at. So let's get to it.
Okay.
Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Still waiting on that fight night. Still waiting for you. Still waiting for that
13 wins in a row, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I still beat you 5-3, 5-2, something like that.
It was like 3-3, dude. Get out of here.
No. First you were saying you outdid me. Now you try to say it's even. That's when you know that you got that ass. I beat you 5-2 to your 3. And the last 2 were just dominant ass whoopings. So go ahead, man. So you can claim on to beating on everybody else, but you wasn't beating me. That's the thing, right?
You do fight night on Sunday. I got to work the next morning. So
do I need to just bump up the time a little bit so I can try to at least get you in? So
yeah, you should do that.
You know what? I might bump up the time just for you, Crispy, so we can go ahead and just get a couple of fighting games in, brother.
Wow.
Sounds good to me.
Guys, in the tradition of next podcast, whenever we have a special guest, the first question always goes to the special guest. And I am going to go to Game Pass for the month of December. I'm going to read off some titles here. First off, 17 games between xCloud, console, and PC are rolling in December into Game Pass. Games like some games are actually already in there right now, like Slime Rancher, Rage 2, Control. But we got Gang Beasts coming to Game Pass. Don't sleep that game. Don't sleep that game if you got Game Pass. Assetto Corsa. We have Super Hot Mind Control Delete. We have Greedfall. We have Call of the Sea, which is debuting and releasing in Game Pass, which a game I'm excited about. There's Haven, Doom Eternal for PC, Starbound, Unto the End, like 17 games in December. I gotta go, Mav, dude, what do you think? It looks like they are ending the year with a bang when it comes to Game Pass. What do you think about Game Pass? What do you think about the games that they're adding to it now? And I gotta ask you, man, is there any way any other company that's in gaming right now can they even compete with what's going on with Game Pass, Ultimate Game Pass, and all like the perks and features and everything that Game Pass has to offer, can anybody compete with this service, bro?
So first up, I'll just get into like the games and how crazy it is that we keep getting this consistent, amazing flow of great games hitting. It seems like every week at this point, there's 2 or 3 new games. Now we got this huge drop of 17, and they're not just like it's not filler, like some people say. It's not just, hey, we just need to have stuff in there. I mean, these are good games that cover a wide spectrum, a huge variety, to give lots of different people a reason to check out Game Pass, and that's what it's all about. 17 freaking games. Games like Greedfall that a lot of people love. A lot of people talk about. It's a big RPG. I was tempted to buy that game several times, but then you get, okay, am I going to regret this purchase or whatever? Now I don't have to make that decision. I can check it out.
You sit there just waiting to pull the trigger, and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And now, thanks to Game Pass, you don't even that doesn't even have to be a part of your thought process anymore.
Exactly. And you know what? If I like it and they get rid of it at some point, I can purchase it while it's still on Game Pass and get that discount. So it's just an amazing overall experience. And they also have hinted that they're not done this year. There was a guy on Twitter that works for Microsoft Xbox, and he deals with Game Pass, and he said they're just warming up before the end of the year. So what else could they possibly have in store with Game Pass for the end of this year when they just dropped 17 games, and some of them are really, really good games, right? I don't know. Now, can another service compete with that value and what they have to offer? I would say they can, but it's going to take a lot to get there. And are they willing to take that investment?
Spend that money.
A massive investment. They got and are they capable of spending that money? So without the right partnerships involved, without the right mindset of future business model, changing your whole landscape of what you have planned, I don't know. So PlayStation would be the closest thing right now with PlayStation Now, but if you compare what's in that and compare it to what's in Game Pass, it's night and day, right?
Well, people say that there are more games in PlayStation Now. What do you say about what people say in terms of, well, there's more games? I know a lot of them are from the PS3 era as well, but what do you say about the people that say with PlayStation Now there are more games and it's cheaper?
I would say look at when those games came out.
Okay.
And that's the easy answer. I mean, Xbox could go and add their entire 360 and Xbox library and also, games from 6-7 years ago and fill it up with that stuff, but they're not doing that. They're actually investing in newer titles that we want to play. Day one titles, even from third-party companies. We've seen Carry On come out day one. Spiritfarer come out day one.
Call of the Sea, which is coming out.
Planet Coaster, Call of the Sea, Tetris Effect Connected, all day one launch on Game Pass on Xbox. And every first-party title that Xbox is publishing is coming out in the future to Game Pass on day one. That is saving me money out of my pocket that I am not going to have to spend. That is value in of itself. If you're just a smart guy financially, it's worth it if you're planning on buying games, right? So until they get to that point, then there's no competition as far as Game Pass goes. And then you combine, EA Play's in there. Then you look at what they're doing with xCloud and all that wrapped up in one. I don't know if anybody can compete. I know that Microsoft has the ability to do this because they're such a massive corporation and that's what their vision is for the future. Yeah, they have such a huge head start. For somebody, if PlayStation were to drop the hammer, which there's been rumors, right? And I think they have to. I think if you look at the future 4 years from now, after all of these first-party AAA games start dropping from Xbox from these 23 studios, and they consistently keep dropping, and you have the Game Pass value, you have a disparity there in value on one platform compared to the other.
Well, according to Jim Ryan, real quick, Mav, according to Jim Ryan, doesn't he have one more week before they have an announcement, they have an answer to Game Pass? Like I believe it was about a week ago where Jim Ryan's like, "Oh, in a couple weeks, don't worry, we'll have an answer to that."
Maybe at the Game Awards, we'll see. I think they need to do something, and I'm not saying this as like anti-PlayStation guy. I want this for PlayStation. I want that experience. I want PlayStation to have that answer to Xbox, because I want to have that same experience over there that I get with Game Pass on Xbox. I want those games to drop day one, and I get to play those AAA bangers that PlayStation comes out with all the time. And unless they figure that out, some way to do that makes it work for their platform, I don't think it's possible. But think about this: 3 or 4 years from now, okay, on Xbox you got Fable, Avowed, Forza, Halo, Gears, Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 possibly at that time. I don't know when that's coming out. Whatever else the Bethesda and all those guys end up making. You got a lot of stuff, right? The Initiatives game, Compulsion's game, all of those are on Game Pass, and you don't have to pay anything extra for. And then on the other platform, every new game that drops, that's a
$70
first party exclusive, is $70. If you're going into the store to make that decision, and you have, okay, well, I don't have to even really worry about investing in the games on this system. I can just pay the monthly fee and I get it, right? Over time, that disparity is going to keep growing and growing and growing, and that's going to be a problem. So they have to figure it out. It's not as much of a problem for them right now, but in the future, it will be. So I hope they figure it out for the future of PlayStation.
Definitely, Mav. Love your points. And another thing when it comes to Game Pass, and I am moving on, down the panel here, but another thing, something that I gotta kind of like champion, because I'm new. Me and O Snaps were kind of like game sharing Game Pass, and it wasn't in my name. So recently, I have it in my name now, Ultimate Game Pass, and I gotta say, the Microsoft reward system that's in Game Pass as well is another thing where even though you're paying like $15 a month for Ultimate Game Pass, you are constantly getting points back, which equal out to money as well for Game Pass achievements, playing different games, getting, they have a whole list of daily, weekly, and monthly kind of like achievements in Game Pass that'll give you Microsoft reward points back, which you can kind of cash in for money. So that right there is another thing where you're not even you're paying $15, but you can take all that money and roll it back into the subscription for Game Pass as well, which is another awesome thing. Shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time. He says, "My condolences, K Mega, and I be at work weekend golf." So condolences for your uncle, brother. And then, when it comes to the weekend, I guess maybe weekend golf is when he's going to go in with us. I think that's what he's trying to say there.
I don't know. I'm taking two different things from that. Maybe he wants to try to play this weekend, and that maybe he might not be available for fight night. I don't know, but
he's usually down for Sundays before fight night to play golf. I do know that.
Yeah.
That's one of the time slots that he constantly talks to me about in terms of playing. So maybe if we can get together Sunday, we could get a round of 18 in before we get a couple rounds of little fighting in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's me and the wife's time though. That's why I do it later, because but it is what it. We'll see how it all. We'll see. Because she might hang out with us. With friends.
I don't know. She over at Pred's house bobbing for apples, man. I don't know.
Oh my God! Yeah. Really? You really? But what?
I wasn't gonna go there.
Yo, well, I was actually gonna go to Predator on this. Pred Game Pass. You got 17 games going into Game Pass. Again, it's between console. They list Android, which is basically xCloud because you can stream to your phone, and then PC games like Doom Eternal finally going into Game Pass on PC. I know a lot of PC gamers are excited for that, but Control on console, Greedfall, you got Call of the Sea dropping day and date into Game Pass, dude. Like, are they trying to like end the year with a bang when it comes to Game Pass? And I got to ask you the same way I asked Mav. Can anybody really compete when you see all the ins and outs that Game Pass has to offer, the reward system, how much they're investing in third party going into Game Pass, how they're doing day and date with first party when those drop? Can any other company seriously compete with this service, bro?
So I'll start off with the first thing. Them ending the year, like you got to think like some people are not going to actually open these consoles until Christmas, so they open it, they set it up, they got all these new games to play they probably never played before.
Great point.
Because the one I got from my daughter, it's wrapped, like she hasn't even seen it yet. She doesn't know she's got it, and even though she has an Xbox now, but you open that up, you open it for the first time, and you got all these new games that just came out in December on Game Pass to pop in that library, to download. I mean, that's a good way to end the year, especially since there's really no blockbuster game right now, from their first party studios that's coming out. Then you got Cyberpunk coming out too. So I mean. The Game Pass part of it, though, because I kind of jumped off top of it, said Cyberpunk, so I was looking at something. The Game Pass part of it, though,
they should just drop the game early for you guys. I swear, because that's all that's on your mind right now. They've already broken
its street date on some places, that's why I was looking at this now. But the Game Pass portion of it, though, it's an amazing bargain for gamers. Period. I don't care who you are, what you game on. Like, if you have access to the service, you should definitely take it, because it's I look at it this way, like my gaming habits and buying habits have changed because of Game Pass. Like I used to buy, like Greedfall as a perfect example. I was hyped about that game. I told myself to wait because I didn't have time to play it. I was playing other stuff, and then I figured I'd hit it up later when it was on discount, because most of those games typically drop down to like $20 somewhere. I was going to pick it up on PC too, so I decided to wait a little bit, and here it is coming on Game Pass. I don't have to buy it now. I can just play it on the Game Pass and knock it out whenever I have time before they take it out of the library. So now I'm more patient as a consumer, whereas in the past I'd be like, I need that game. It's new. Let me get it. And my theory was anything that Microsoft markets, their marketing isn't for skins like Sony. It isn't for, custom consoles like Sony was doing
Game Pass.
This past generation. It's for Game Pass. So when you see them market a game, it's going to come to Game Pass at some point in time. And even something like Cyberpunk, I mean, I think that'll come to Game Pass at some point in time. It may be like, if it hits, hard, like,
Witcher 3's in there, right?
Yeah, I think Witcher 3 was in there at some point in time. So I think it may not come out like it may not come out in the first year, but a year and a half, maybe 2 years down the road, if, depending on what they do with the DLC and the multiplayer and stuff like that. But I figure once they get done with the game, it'll be in Game Pass at some point in time. So like, if you don't want to buy it and you have a backlog of games you want to play, this is a perfect reason to
if you don't have that itch to play it day one, but you have an interest in the game, there's a good chance.
And you don't want to spend that money on it, there's a good chance it's going to show up in Game Pass at some point in time. So as far as other people competing, and I mean, you can go back maybe when Game Pass became a thing, when we had our topics on that before. I always told you guys, like, and I think this happened when EA started doing their thing, and I said my issue with EA and Ubisoft doing it was they don't have other people putting games into their system. Microsoft has their games, their first party studio stuff, and they're consistently dropping games from other people in there, and that's what makes their service more successful than everybody else's, because they're not just doing Microsoft games. Like EA was just doing EA games. They're not releasing enough EA games to have a subscription service like that. Ubisoft, same way. They're not putting enough games out there for you to stay engaged in that system, you know. And so my thing was, if someone's going to do something like this, they have to get that sign off from other studios to put other stuff in there. Like Sony, I think Matt was saying a minute ago, like Sony would be the nearest person, but they don't have the infrastructure. And even if they do have that cloud infrastructure to do something like this, they would still have to get the sign off on all these other studios, you know, because like Sony makes great games, but they make 1 or 2 or 3 great games a year. That's not enough to keep people engaged in that system. And they're not day and date. So they'd have to get Ubisoft. They'd have to get EA. They'd have to get some third-party stuff to jump in there as well. And that goes for anybody trying to do this, the way Microsoft is doing it. So the only way it's going...
I was going to say another thing with Sony and kind of like their first party offerings and stuff. And I'm not saying it's all like this, but I think we can all generally agree that Sony will focus more on the single player experience where, you know, not all their games are going to have that multiplayer for that replay values. And I think that multiplayer is a big part of a subscription service as well, like Game Pass. You know, you definitely have single player games in there, but the multiplayers, they're going to get a higher replay value. People are going to be more attached to the multiplayer because they're going to continue to play that.
Yeah, and it's always changing. It isn't the same thing over and over again. So like, that's another aspect of it too. Like these game as a service games, even though some people don't like that aspect of gaming now, those game as a service games, like they generate revenue and they keep people subscribed to things like Game Pass. Like if you only have a one and done game in a Game Pass type service, you're going to play that game and you're going to play it for a month. I mean, I beat Assassin's Creed in a week. Imagine if that was it. Like if I got Game Pass just for that game, to play that game, to spend that $9 a month for that game, I'm done after that month. There's nothing else.
Dude, not too many people would beat Assassin's Creed in a week, though. Yo, Brett, you went nuts on that.
Week and a half, maybe. Oh. But I'm saying, but that's a single player experience for you. Like, or like, you know, you might be able to pull some what was we talking about, the golf club a while ago when they have that season pass?
Yeah, PGA Tour. It's got the clubhouse pass now. Man.
Yeah, you might be able to get people more engaged with that, something like that. But at the end of the day, Satan Crispy's favorite phrase, people are gonna say, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna cancel subscription. They're gonna be 1 month and done, and they'll move on to the next big thing. So I think for any company to actually want to do what Microsoft is doing, they have to get other studios and other games involved in that service. It can't just be their studio games. They got to get somebody else in there. They got to do, even if it's not day and date, it's got to be kind of near it or something fairly new from other stuff. Like, I mean, could you imagine just having EA access and only playing EA games? You're going to be playing sports. Because and then you like with Ubisoft, I'll use them for a perfect example. They completely said, fuck this year, right? Like they came out with Ghost Recon. This is like, I think late last year, they had Ghost Recon, and that's when their Ubi Play stuff came out, right? And then what have they released since between now and then, besides Assassin's Creed? And
in between like Watch Dogs and kind of like going late last year into early this year, it was pretty much nothing, dude.
Nothing. So you subscribe to that service for Assassin's Creed and Ghost Recon. And maybe, if you're a Rainbow Six guy, you got that in there. But like there wasn't enough coming out throughout that year to say, hey, this is worth the X amount of dollars I'm spending for this service. Like, just wasn't enough games. So unless they're just pumping games out, it's not going to be worth the money.
Dude, that's why I think it looked good. Like EA, with EA Access now, EA Play. You look at Ubisoft and stuff like that. I think on paper it looked good, but I think that when it came down to it, Xbox knew there had to be continuous. They had to keep putting in games. From the small indie titles to the bigger third party, and yes, first party as well. And Pred, I think you hit the nail like right on the head when it comes to the third-party publishers. They don't really make enough throughout the year to substantiate just their subscription service.
Can I chime in? Real
Yeah,
quick
go ahead, man. You can chime in. We're talking.
What Pred was saying too, I think it makes more sense, like for like Ubisoft, like they did with Rainbow Six, to put their game in Game Pass instead of just have it for their own service, right? Because if you're trying to get people to buy the monetization stuff, and the passes and the content and the outfits and the guns, you want to hit as many subscribers as possible. You're not going to get that on your own little service. So like on Game Pass, they already have how many million subscribers did they last announce, right? So if you put your game on Game Pass, that's why EA Play is going there, because EA is big with monetization as well, right? If you put those games in Game Pass, you're already unlocking the ability for lots more people to spend money on your game. It's not just about purchasing the games anymore, the individual titles. Those are just reasons to subscribe to Game Pass, right?
Engagement,
and then the wider scale, once those games are in Game Pass, you're giving more people access to spend smaller amounts of money on lots of content over extended period of time that keeps those games fresh and alive for longer. Look at what Halo's now doing, what Xbox is now doing with Master Chief Collection, right? They have all that content, keeping it fresh again, right? I think Forza is going to go in that direction, right? Halo Infinite multiplayer is going to be free to play for that reason as well. So like, I think he hits on a good point with that. You can't just have those individual little services. They got to compile into one big service, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Pred, anything else before I move on to get some hashtag Crispy Truth in on this? So, Crispy, you have been quiet and waiting patient, and you're going to have to actually wait one more second. Hold on real quick. Sir X-Man, hit up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He says, playing Star Wars Fallen Order should have been in, I guess, a Game of the Year nominee. That's what I think he said right there. And, Sir X-Man, you are, like, campaigning for that, man. I see you all over the place talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and how it should have been in the Game of the Year nomination. So shout out to you with that, man. I'm happy that you are enjoying that game. It is a Dark Souls-esque kind of like light Star Wars kind of like type game. I have gotten into it as well. It is a really cool game. Some of the glitches annoy me in terms of jumping and sliding and stuff like that. My character doesn't do what he's supposed to do. He doesn't jump to where I want him to. But other than that, the game's absolutely incredible. But Crispy, Game Pass, man. 17 games in December. They said they are not done yet. Even in their advertisement, they said, we will see you at the VGAs as well. So, dude, are they trying to end 2020 with a bang? And not literally, because 2020, I can literally see it ending with a bang the way this year has gone. But, really kind of like hammering home Game Pass to the consumer and the value. I love what Predator said about people who celebrate the holidays, because a lot of people will be getting their new systems on the 25th. I believe their new systems come with a card that has free Game Pass, at least for a couple months. Dude, what do you think about what they're offering here in December when it comes to Game Pass? And, dude, can any other company seriously compete with all the layers that Game Pass, Ultimate Game Pass, like everything that service has to offer, bro?
I mean, let's be serious. No, nobody can.
No,
I'm going to start with the one before, and you have to understand that they're doing things because they also have a giant wallet, and they're all in now. Like, they've been all in since they bought ZeniMax. You knew right then and there, that's it. It's happening. We're going to see a lot of games, and we're not seeing games that are just, came out, 5-6 years ago. We're seeing games that came out within a year, day and date, that aren't even first party. We're seeing, a lot of help towards indie developers, stuff like that. Games that could end up pushing, the bigger developers to do something new, which is always great. I mean, innovation is part of gaming, and we see it all the time. Not only that, if you're a part of a family, I mean, the value in this is just incredible. I say all the time, like my girlfriend and her son, they play totally different games than I do. But, I find a game or 2 or 3 every month on Game Pass. Every month that they drop something, I usually find at least one game that I'm like, I got to try this. And that's why I put out that tweet. I was like, my backlog is already big enough. Stop it. Like, this is crazy. I was like, I'm not going to buy Control. And I wasn't even like clamoring for it because I'm like, dude, it's going to be there after Phil dropped the beans how many months ago. So I was like, yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's not the Ultimate Edition. I'm like, well, you know what? They're probably trying to get you to buy that, number one. But number two, I'm on my 1X. I don't have a Series X, so I don't care. I'm just going to play the game and enjoy it. And that's the whole point of Game Pass. They're just trying to give you something to enjoy, whether you're, this hardcore gamer that needs something narrative based with a lot of different mechanics involved, or you're
Crispy,
into,
the whole point of Game Pass is to get people paying a monthly subscription. At least I hear what you're saying for the gamer side of it, and I definitely agree with you. When it comes to the variety of games that are in Game Pass, there is definitely games for each and every gamer out there. Business side, though, they want that steady stream of revenue to keep coming in. They can, use that money to make more games, possibly acquire more studios, really build up that whole process as well. I mean, I got to think about the business side as well as the gamer side too, bro.
And how do you get the business side to become what you want it to be? You involve variety.
Mm-hmm.
You have the parents that are going to choose the Controls and the other games that they're going to be interested in, and then you have
Control's a great game, by the way.
And you're going to have the children go to some of the other games that everybody says is Game Pass. Well, you know what? If somebody enjoys the game, it's not filler. It's there for a reason. So, these narratives that I see all the time are ridiculous. Like, come on. And no, unless PlayStation, number one, needs to drop everything day and date. Number two, invest more probably into Azura servers because they're already invested in it. Because they're going to need to up, the ante of what they're, compiling, and as Xbox is already changing everything over to Series X's already. So, Microsoft's going to need to see some money, I'm sure. We're not going to hear those deals, and they're also going to have to go and get some third parties for PS Now. And they're going to have to get them to go day and day, even if they're a smaller title. And we see that in few and far between, unfortunately. Or we see a game that came out 2-3 years ago add a DLC and become part of PS Now or something. Mm-hmm. I see them always kind of like playing this like, oh, we want to put one toe in the water instead of the whole foot, and then go to the whole leg and then just jump in. And that's the whole thing that they do. And like I believe Mav said, you got to understand, if they don't go all in, people are going to be reluctant, at least if they love the Game Pass model, to invest in the ecosystem that PlayStation has built. And we all know that they make more money off of the investment into the ecosystem, both companies, than even selling the games themselves. And I think that's why Jim Ryan's hinting the way he's hinting. He's saying, you know what? We see what Microsoft's doing. We see the money they're making. It's time for us to make a big splash. I don't know what it is. Hopefully we hear day and date at VGAs, especially for all those PlayStation gamers that have PS Now, and PS Plus and everything else. They have every subscription service that's in there. You know what I mean? Which is, I see a lot of people not using some of the stuff, but I mean, I don't want to pay $70 for a game that I could get for $15 a month. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Well, yeah, and it's not just that one game, but again, having that whole library there. It's that one game you want to play, especially if it's day and date. If it's day and date, like, the Halos and the Forzas, for Xbox gamers out there, for people who have had, an Xbox console throughout the generations, you've grown fond of at least one of the Pillar 3 franchises. Let's be real. Whether it's Halo, Gears, or Forza. And, just getting new iterations of those day and date in your subscription service is absolutely incredible. But seeing the expanse, all the studios that they have acquired, and stuff like that. And now getting all those games day and date in Game Pass as well. I mean, if you have an Xbox console, it is almost a no-brainer. Like if you let's see, if you spend how much is it per year? Say $120 per year for just the regular Game Pass, right? That's 2 games. If you spend money for 2 games per year, I would strongly suggest thinking about Game Pass in terms of that, because it's a deal. It has a lot of games in it, and again, day and date, first party and third party, like you were talking about, Crispy. My bad. People are yelling in the house. I have no idea what's going on right now.
But yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. And then, like, for somebody like me who's trying to stretch those dollars, when I don't have to spend money on my Gears and any game that I'm really interested in that I know could come to Game Pass or has become a partnership, or they've done marketing for them or this or that, like, it's probably going to come in Game Pass eventually, so I can wait on that and I can go and purchase something like Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster and stuff like that, and I can go and invest in it, even like DLCs of like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, and not worry about the next Halo Infinite coming out, the next Gears coming out, the next Forza coming out. That I enjoy those games. Am I going to play them like I do with Gears? No, but at the same time, I still want to try them out. I want to see how good they've gotten, the innovations. And, if they do a great job, I'm going to be invested in it and I'm going to continue to play it. And, I see a lot of these games that especially are Microsoft first party, they're day and date in Game Pass. Mm-hmm. They keep giving you DLC and it's for free if you are a Game Pass member. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's the whole point of it. Like, yes, you can pay, you can buy skins and this and that, but other than that, like, getting new maps and stuff, you're getting them for nothing. And you think about it, they're probably, most people don't even look if they're on Xbox what they charge for it if you don't have it. But I'm sure it's at least $20.
Dude, if you have Game Pass and there's a game like on Game Pass, they don't even show you the price unless you absolutely click on it. They let you know that it's just installable now. Just go ahead and download it now. Don't even worry about the price. If you are interested, you can click on it and get into that next layer that'll show you the price with the discount for it. But in the beginning, it's like, no, you can just download this now, no problem.
Yeah, and maybe that's why we get so many updates all the time. I swear, sometimes I'm like, every game needs an update. What am I gonna play now? Come on.
All right, real quick, I want to shout out Victor Alistine. I'm not really sure about that. And I do apologize if I butchered that. But, shout out to Victor for hitting up the Super Chat. He says, Casey Hudson and Mike Dara would be great candidates to lead 343 and take over from Bonnie Ross. Also, a Sonic game in Ori format would be great on Xbox. That Sonic game, like, Sonic Mania, it's a 2D platformer and stuff. But, to have that difficulty, to have like that Ori difficulty in a Sonic game would absolutely be incredible. And what you're saying about 343, little people don't really know this about me, but when it comes down to it, 343, and I know K Mega's about to get triggered right now. He's about to get triggered. I've never been a huge fan of Bonnie Ross or Kiki. K Mega, what's her name? Kiki Wolf something or other. Kiki Wolfkill. I have never been a big fan of either one of those. Like Bonnie, I was given the chance. Kiki, I feel like she's always so toned down with her emotions. It's like she's chemically toned down, if you know what I'm saying. Coming from a person who has the past of a street pharmacist, per se, I feel like she is chemically toned down. I just, if they do decide to move away from Bonnie and Kiki, I am absolutely good with that. Shout out to Victor for hitting up the Super Chat. Anybody got anything to say about what Victor said right there? Anybody at all?
I just feel sad for BioWare. That's all. That's all. I mean, anytime that Casey Hudson and the news that broke today with them leaving BioWare,
Okay.
it's sad days for me right now. That's one of my favorite game studios, and I hope that Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't the last good BioWare game.
Oh no. Well, I feel for you. Only time will tell when it comes down to it. At least we know.
I guess that means Anthem's fucked.
I don't know, man. They were working on. They said that the projects are going forward with the next Dragon Age game, and I forget what else they were working on. But yeah, I mean, they were a pillar, right? One of the top game studios in the world that everybody looked to as an example of excellence and how to achieve a masterclass in RPGs and creating a video game. And ever since after Dragon Age Inquisition, right? Ever since then, it's just kind of went downhill, and not a good look for them right now. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's not over till it's over, but it's not looking good.
Vince needs to save today. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, it's good that they put Vince in position at EA to be able to have
influence,
more involvement over all their studios and everything. So there's still hope, right?
Yeah, he's like, right? Anybody? Somebody be with me on this?
No, I agree. I mean, Jedi Fallen Order got snubbed in my opinion. So Sir X, I'm on your page, bro.
Ooh.
It got a little screwed over. You know, they played a big game with that game. You know, I thought it could have won last year. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
no,
I got screwed over with critics in general. Like if you look at, I know that ratings don't matter, but it matters to some people. Yeah, exactly. That it matters to some people that don't know anything and they're just trying to look around and kind of get a gauge something, right? But that game is like a 79 on the PlayStation on Metacritic, which is just insane for Jedi Fallen Order to have a score like that. You know, it should be way higher. So I don't know. I don't understand.
On PlayStation, it's gotta be first party for it to really score high.
Yeah.
Like that's the automatic thing in terms of those numbers. And speaking of Sir X-Man, he hit up the super chat one more time. Thank you, brother. He says, if I don't work an extra day, Saturday, we play golf. Okay. I'm actually I think I might be working Saturday, so I will have to get back to you on that. But K, talk to K Mega about that real quick, because I already got to play golf with K Mega and Sir X-Man didn't. And Sir X-Man, the next time I get you in an Xbox Live party, you know I will not let you live that down, bro. I'm just saying, I got there first. But Mega, it feels like it's been a while here, but man, I got to get your thoughts on Game Pass before we move in. The next topic is going to be the initiative and all that good stuff. So if you want, we could talk about Game Pass, and then I'll go right to you for what's going on with the initiative, kind of like the rumors of that. But Game Pass in December, 17 games already talked about. You have people from Xbox saying, hey, that deal with Game Pass, we'll see you at the VGAs. People are saying that this is just getting warmed up right now. Are they really trying to end the year with a bang again? I love what Predator said about people who celebrate the holidays, but cracking open that new system, getting that card if they don't have Game Pass, 3 months, and you got this insane library just kind of like at your fingertips already with your brand new system. But dude, what do you think about what they're doing here at the end of 2020 with Game Pass? And I got to ask you, bro, can any other company seriously compete with what is going on with Game Pass and all kind of like the layers from rewards to first party day and date to third party support? Can any other company really compete with this service, man?
The only company that I could see that actually can compete would be NVIDIA for what they're doing on their end with the streaming. But again, they're two different entities because that's just only for PC. But console wise, no. I mean, Nintendo and Sony is not even is nowhere near in comparison. I mean, PlayStation now could have 10,000 games, but for some reason, PlayStation fans aren't aren't captivated with what's going on with PlayStation Now, as though like there's more PlayStation fans that are into Game Pass than they are into PlayStation Now. So that should tell you something. Just Game Pass is just doing a lot. They lost 7 games. One of those games was Mutant something. It was a turn-based RPG game. Can't think of the
one with like the duck guy on the cover.
Yeah, with the duck and stuff like that. Yeah. It was a real popular game on PC, and I think it won an award at some point for being one of the best RPGs of that year. But the thing of it is that like that was a big hit. But then there's all those other little titles. So there's 7 games, and I seen that there were people that was trying to look how many games is left, but look how many games that Xbox just added to Game Pass. You see what I'm saying? They lost 7, but gained 10 more. With
that rotation is real, bro. That
rotation is real, but those games are ridiculous. And if you are interested in any of those games, this is what Game Pass also gives you that nobody else can at this point, not even EA Access, who kind of really started this type of thing. I know that some people say, it was PlayStation, but PlayStation had a whole dynamic with that whole beta system, but it was really actually EA who really kind of
PlayStation never marketed anything really either.
That beta was absolutely disgusting. Like, I mean, it was highway robbery. You went ahead and you tried to get it. Let's say that you wanted to play
Mega
a game.
Indie Gamer in the chat said Mutant Year Zero.
That's it. That's it right there. Yeah. But again, that's the thing is that like they didn't market it because they got so much flack, so they had to try to reassess and try to change PS Now. Then when they finally came out with their version of PS Now, it was already too late. EA Access already had at that point in time seemed like the better end of it because you can download those games. You didn't have to stream them, and everybody's internet is not equal, so therefore it just didn't benefit everybody else. So that's when you had this whole thing from certain fans that were saying, well, look, I don't care about streaming, I don't care about any playing stuff on my phone, any other crap. And so then now when PlayStation changed it over to where you can download your games, oh well, it's a good service, but then Xbox get into the fray and then kind of just revolutionize everything and actually really brings that Netflix style to gamers. Then it's now, PlayStation Now is still relevant because it had this many and it has this many games, blah, blah. It's ridiculous. There's nothing that's compared to Nintendo isn't touching it, nothing. So when you look at the games that's being dropped already, and even though it's kind of like what Crispy said, Phil let the cat out of the bag accidentally months ago, it's still crazy because there were still people out there that still bought these games during the Black Friday, during these holidays, there's Cyber Monday and all this other stuff. So they were kind of like, hey man, dang, I could have waited till this. But then again, if you got a new console and then you paid that extra $19, you get the enhancement on top of that and that DLC. So really what you can kind of look at, even though I was pissed off of paying that $19 because I bought the game for full price. And I didn't want to pay.
Which game did you buy?
Control. I'm talking about Controller.
Yeah, Control. Yo, I gotta say, for Control, shout out to my brother Wilmy Hood for hooking me up with a copy of that game, man.
Yeah.
That is somebody, man. He gives so much to the community and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
he hooked me up, yo. Shout out to him because it's a good game. It's a good game, bro.
Oh yeah, it's a real good game. I mean, it's Remedy. Remedy make dope games. I mean, that's just what they do. But again, it's one of those things. I did get pissed off about how they did it with the whole 505 thing being their publisher and all of that. But again, I looked at it as, well, if I was buying DLC, I'll probably be paying about this much anyway. So I'll go ahead and just chew the $19.
We did the same thing, dude.
Yeah, and so really, I just went ahead and did it. But those that didn't get the game, they still are winning because they can go ahead and just get that in the DLC, and whenever they get a new console, they'll get those enhancements for free for $20. And if you waited even longer, it was like, man, I'm still just gonna wait. You got it on Game Pass now, and I guarantee you that there'll be an add-on sale somewhere down the line before they add those enhancements to where you can get that DLC for maybe about $10. And then if you add this factor of what you talked about earlier, Bot, is if you got those Xbox rewards, you might not have to pay anything because it's according to how much you've accumulated.
I am so surprised. No, like the YouTubers out there and people who talk about Game Pass. Some people praise it, right, and then some people bash it. But I am surprised at the lack of people talking about the reward system that is within Game Pass and how it gives you so much money back, like per month, anyway.
Right, and that's the thing too, is that we get all these conversations, these ridiculous conversations about, well, all that Xbox had to offer were old games. But if you've never played those games, how are they old to you? That's the thing that I just don't understand. I never comprehend that ignorance. Like, whoever says that, you're just ignorant. What you've done is try to spin some kind of crazy talking point because it feeds into some kind of console war garbage. The fact of it is that it doesn't matter if you've never played Ninja Gaiden. Isn't that new to you because you've never played it?
Oh, damn. I wish I never played Ninja Gaiden just so I can experience it again for the first time, bro.
So for the people out there that's looking, and this is what I said beforehand, before we even got into this conversation about old games and that Halo got pushed back, is this point right here, is the value of what you get. If you're a person that wants to get the Series X, or if you're a person that just don't care about all the power, you just want to get your hand on the Series S just to get a hold of next gen, and you got Game Pass, you're winning. Because guarantee you haven't played every game that's in Game Pass. And if you jumped in and you didn't have the money to go ahead and get the one game, the Doom Eternal, and or you've never played The Witcher 3, and now you got Control, and then you got Haven, and then Streets of Rage, and all these other games, Streets of Rage 4, and all these other games that's available for you. If you haven't played any of, or Greedfall, for instance, which I love Greedfall. Greedfall is a great game. I bought that day one. If you haven't experienced those games, and those are the type of games that you were looking for to want to invest in and want to get, you've already won. You've only paid.
You are the winner.
Paid $10, $15, and you got a new console, or not even if you don't even have a new console yet. If you paid $15 and you good, you're straight. Those games are downloaded. You're ready to play them, and you got all into the winner to have games to satisfy you until whatever, and that's until you want to buy something else. And then on top of that, while you're playing those games, last point, when you play those games, you also earn achievable points through the reward system. So that's also even in getting you more involved in just the one to play the game and get those rewards, so you can be able to buy a game, or on a discount, or if you've made enough points to just get the game for free. So I mean, it's a winning proposition any way you look at it. Game Pass is the best in gaming, in my opinion. Just period. There's nothing like it.
Definitely well thought out. You can tell that they wanted this subscription service to be part of the backbone to the Xbox platform moving forward. It is well thought out, when it comes to the rewards, when it comes to the, third-party support, when it comes to the indie games that jump in there. Yes, Indie Gamer in the chat. I know your ears perked up when I said indie games, but and then the first-party day and date, and when it comes to Microsoft and they do these things, they come out with these services. They really brainstorm them before they kind of come out to the public. And this is a well thought out subscription service that, at the end of the day, I even feel that, a few years down the road, again, I do call Game Pass, it's a Trojan horse to get everybody in on a subscription service. They are going to make this service so good that
they have over 20 million people now.
Yeah. And it's exactly what they're doing. They're getting everybody into that subscription service. I'm not gonna wear blinders to that fact. I already know that's what they want to do, right? That's right. Where they want their Xbox gamers. They want them all subscribing, paying that monthly fee and stuff like that. But when the service is so good, when the deal is there for everybody, I mean, you can't deny the value that's there as well.
No, you can't.
moving
And
forward.
I got one more point too. I just thought about this. Okay, now so I'm signed up to the Sony rewards, right?
Mhm.
And just the difference. I have 106 games on my PlayStation. I still don't have enough points to buy anything on PlayStation on the PlayStation rewards. I got tons more games on my Xbox. But during the Black Friday sale, I had so many points, I got like 7 games for free.
Yeah. Dude.
So it was kind of like, or you know what I'm saying? I got like 5 games for free, and then I had and for the other 2 games that I got them at really good discounts. Like I only had to pay like $15, $15 to $10 a piece on the other last 2. So to me, that kind of looks like, well, because I got Kakarot. That was the game I was looking at. That scene was like $30. I'm like, bro, I'm finna cop that. Boom. I looked and I seen I had the points. I said, damn. I'm free. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep looking. So that's the thing to me. It's kind of like if Sony, enhanced some things with PS Now and with their reward system, man, they wouldn't still be on Game Pass, but they would be in a good position for a lot of people to sign on. But they're living off of people holding to keep PSN by bringing in good games, while Xbox is kind of like, you know what, games for gold, yeah, we're not that great at that, but this is what you get.
No, they're not good with that at all anymore.
But the whole point of it is that why would you even care about games for gold when you have Game Pass that's giving you this fire? That's how I look at it.
Especially if
free games are free games.
Especially if you're doing Game Pass Ultimate, because your Xbox Live membership is automatically rolled into your Game Pass Ultimate, $15 a month and whatnot. And K-Meg, I got a great idea. If you haven't done it yet on your channel, because I know there's a lot of people prefer Xbox and stuff like that, might not necessarily know about Sony's reward program and how good or bad it is. You might want to make a video on that, man, and kind of detail that. I think that would be really good for the gamers who are looking, they might be new to PlayStation and are looking for kind of like a reward system and not really know kind of like the ins and outs of it or whatnot. That would be a great video for your channel, brother.
Yeah, I need to go ahead and try to look into that. Yeah. So.
All right, but now let's switch this up to a quadruple A game that hasn't been announced yet. Yes, guys, we are talking about the Initiative, an Xbox first-party studio built from the ground up by Xbox and Microsoft. For people who have been living under a rock, I just want to let you know that a bunch of developers from like Naughty Dog, a bunch of like what people would consider top-tier developers have gone over to this studio, and this studio has has a sphere of mystery around it because they haven't really announced their game. They did come out, and at one point in time, Xbox was talking about a quadruple A game, and people are like, whoa, we know triple A games. What's a quadruple A game? Well, shout out to the Xbox Era podcast because they came out and they said some things about the Initiative's project, about the game that they are developing. And basically what they're stating here is they are relating it to a series that came out on Netflix called Black Mirror. Now, what Black Mirror is, Black Mirror, each episode is kind of like its own story, but it's within the same universe. So every episode has its own story, kind of like its own, protagonist or antagonist. Black Mirror can get pretty dark as well in terms of from episode to episode, right? But, they're basically their own stories, and what kind of keeps them all Black Mirror is they're all in the Black Mirror universe, basically making an episodic franchise. Now, I will state that when it came to Halo Infinite, from what I have heard in terms of that game and what they are developing, it sounds very similar to what 343 is also doing with Halo Infinite in terms of the campaign. Because from what I hear, that kind of like general that that was talking to you at that gameplay reveal, he is that last boss guy at the end of Halo Infinite, kind of like part 1. He is under Atriox. You're going to hear about Atriox. They're going to develop the story out. You're going to find out, who other characters are, how big the scope of this war that's going on really is, and they're going to keep on almost like episodically continuing Halo Infinite. And some people don't like that, but that's what I hear is going on. And now we hear the initiative is also thinking episodic when it comes to their quote unquote quadruple A game project. K-Mega, now we just talked about Game Pass, and I know this rolls right in with that, for episodic full production. What do you think here, and again, shout out to the Xbox Era podcast. We got to get some of those guys on as special guests sometimes at some point in time. But what do you think? Do you think this is far-fetched? Do you like the idea of episodic? Have you gotten into like Black Mirror, kind of like shows like that kind of have that universe, but each episode is kind of like its own story? What do you think about what we're hearing here from Xbox Era? And because they also said they don't think that's going to be received well in a lot of places. I'm actually looking forward to it even more now. But what do you think, brother?
All right, this is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to be too long on this.
Oh, you could read that super chat as well, bro, if you want.
Well, no, I didn't. Well, I'm looking at something else. I'm not even looking at the super chat. But go ahead and read the super chat, man.
Oh, okay. I'll read. Are you sure you don't want to read it though? Okay.
No, go ahead.
All right. Shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell hitting up that super chat. Thank you, brother. And this is one of the best super chats I have seen in a long time. So shout out to you. He says Xbot 448 is greater than K-Mega 405 in Halo 5. Thank you, brother, for that super chat. I appreciate it. I am smiling ear to ear right now. And K-Mega, it's true, man. Blue Shell said it. It's true.
How's it true?
It's true. It's true.
What's the evidence? The only thing you got. Matter of fact, we're tied in rank. So we're tied in rank. So I don't know. We gotta have to put that to the test. I would like to see that. But anyway, we got to put that to the test.
This is a challenge going on right now.
Yeah, we have to put that to the test. Anyway, so this is my point right here. We have a game that's considered to be game of the year, right? Do anybody know what that game could be that's episodic? That's up for game of the year? Anybody?
Game of the year episodic.
That's an episodic game.
With the VGAs. With the way that the Last of Us Part 2 ended.
No.
I was going to say, are you considering that?
Final Fantasy Remake. That's not a game.
True. Oh, my goodness.
That's episodic. Okay, so then we've seen everybody get all happy, and we have people that shows gameplay and talks decently well about Hitman. But then when we found out that they were going to be taking over 007, what happened? Oh, they're the best company to take over that, and I hope it's episodic like Hitman 2. Okay, and then we got people that likes to talk about Telltale's games, etc. Oh, and the biggest one, how is it that people are tripping about, they're nervous about Halo going to go the same route as a game that a lot of people revere and love, which is Destiny? I don't understand some of this. See, these old traditionalists that try to come in and still try to put their spew. The Barney Rubbles of gaming. They still constantly wants to come in. I want to play with disc only. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want anything. You can't be in one moment sitting here talking about I hate DLC, but then clamoring and loving DLC for a game that you like. You can't talk about, well, I don't like episodics, this and that, but then praise the VGAs when you look at or praise a game like Final Fantasy VII, because that game is not Final Fantasy VII Remake, because it is not complete. It's episodic. It's just a different form of it. It has been stressed by Mark Cerny and from I forget her name. Man, she used to work on the Uncharted series. Amy?
Her
name is
Amy.
Amy. Yeah, Amy.
Amy Hennig.
Amy Hennig. They both admitted on top of everything, when everybody was going after Phil and EA for talking about single player games, they both admitted that there has to be something to change, because for all these people that's clamoring for these single player games and all this and that, they're not completing these games. And so therefore they're making so they have one or two options: make them episodic or make them shorter. So which one do you want to do? Do you want to pay a $70 game and have and bitch about it and complain that it was only 5 to 10 hours long? Or do you want a game that gives you a little bang for your buck for maybe 30, 40 bucks, but then yet it's going to get an episodic type of situation? Because look, I don't understand how somebody can be in one moment love all these certain games that are single player experiences or whatever, and then come back and draw when they talk about, oh, well, expansions is bad and this and that. No, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think if the initiative is going this route, I think it's smart. You see, obviously,
it feeds right into Game Pass, though, man. If you think about it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Well, it's all about that as well, but it's also the fact that I think that when you look, if it didn't work for Hitman would have made a part 2, and Hitman would be making a third one. That's going to be episodic as well.
Great point, right?
So
there.
if it isn't working, then it's not. Then they wouldn't keep trying to do this. Obviously, it is something that the gamers are happy for. Look, a lot of people just don't have a lot of time on their hands like they used to, and some people, in order, if you can't have it all these ways that you. Well, I don't want to pay for DLC. Well, I don't want to see microtransactions. Well, I don't want to pay to win, and I don't want to pay to play, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. But yet you still want all these damn experiences, and you want games to be more technical and better and bigger than they ever been. It's not. You want all the best actors and actresses and every damn thing else, and you want mocaps and shit to look real as it possibly can. You can't have it all and not pay for it some kind of way. So that's my point on it.
Yo, I just want to say something real quick. Yo, shout out to Christopher Hart. First off, man, you are here for every single live show. I definitely appreciate the support. But here's the deal. You say in the chat, Halo Infinite is sounding like it's making several severe mistakes. And if you feel that way, if it's your opinion, you are really showing your quote unquote console war colors by doing the laughing face at the end of that. So you purposely you want to see a franchise fail, is what you're saying in the chat right now. You're saying that this game is making, in your opinion, several severe mistakes, but yet you are getting joy out of it. Yo, one thing I will never say, I never got joy when I thought the new God of War, and yes, it got highly rated with quote-unquote meta who and all that good stuff, but I was concerned about the no jumping. You never saw me put a laughing face. Oh, the new God of War, no jumping, ha ha ha, like, they're making so many mistakes. I wanted to get into that game, all right? And what you're doing right there is you are showing kind of like your console war colors, where you really are just kind of championing for a platform over another platform. Brother, man, I taught you better than that, dude. And Eric, shout out to you, brother, for hitting up the super chat. He says, you cheapskate, go play your streaming service. Dude, I live by Game Pass, brother. That's all I gotta say. I live by Game Pass. I absolutely love the service.
Man, there's a lot of people that would be living off of PS Now if they offered the same type of service.
Well, they will definitely, because I hear about them wanting to get into streaming and all that stuff, which we will talk about when we talk about the PS5 Pro. But we gotta get to my special guest. He has been ultra quiet, brother. You can kind of chime in when we're going back and forth. It's really no problem. Special guests kind of have that. They have that privilege, man, to kind of come in and talk to Predator or Crispy or K Mega.
I'm just listening to these great points from these smart guys.
Oh my goodness. We don't.
I mean, they got good things to say.
We don't hear that too much here, so I do appreciate that. But brother, what do you think about this? The initiative, which Xbox came out and they're like quadruple A. And in terms of the talent and, who they have hired for that studio, I mean, we're expecting nothing less than greatness, because it's all kind of like top tier. Even the janitors must be like in the top 2% in the world when it comes to, you know, cleaning office space and whatnot. So Xbox Era, they come out and they talk about Episodic in terms of this new game. You know, I would say new franchise then, especially if it's episodic. What do you think about this move here? I already kind of tried to bring it into Game Pass. Do you think that is kind of like the main reason for this? And do you think this is going to be accepted here in terms of you know, an Xbox first party trying to go the episodic route, if it's true, bro?
Well, I think first of all, we have to just acknowledge that this is 100% just pure rumor.
There you go. I said it's true.
Pure speculation. It does not. This holds no weight really with anything that we know, because it was something that was mentioned on another podcast that they have heard things, right? So now let's speculate if it's true, right? So if it's true, it depends on what it is. What does that mean, episodic? Because that's a very wide term, right? So if you think about like the Telltale games, that style, that's what most people think of when they hear episodic. They think of like the Walking Dead games, and they think of that kind of stuff. And what's that Square Enix game that they made that was the episodic that a lot of people liked a lot, right? A lot of people think of that style of game. That's not necessarily true. I think it was K Mega was just saying, Final Fantasy VII Remake. That game, as a standalone game, holds weight. It has a lot of content. It's a worthwhile experience. And it's a great game. Heck, it's a Game of the Year freaking candidate, like you said, right? Mm-hmm. So if that is a form of episodic, now let's say you go like something like that, okay? Let's say the game is 8 hours long story. Amazing story. You know, you get sucked in, drawn into the world. It's a worthwhile experience, and it's free on Game Pass. And because it is a tighter knit game, you get maybe one every 2 years, as opposed to having to wait 7 years. You know what I mean? It continues that same story in the same world in the same universe.
You were just reading my mind with that, but go ahead, brother. That's amazing.
Different experiences that if they're referencing it to like something like Black Mirror, expanded universe, different stories, everything's connected, trying to build this shared world. Mm-hmm. It has amazing possibilities, and that's we're talking about Game Pass earlier, but that's an opportunity of something that Game Pass offers you to be more creative with things like this. Because they're not as worried about, hey, we have to like make this game worth $60. We don't have to make this game worth $70. They can focus on, hey, we need content in Game Pass. And if we come out with this now, we can come out with something else sooner, 2 years later, and keep that system, keep it flowing. And we're all happy. We have lots of things to play. It all depends on the form that they do it, how much content there is, the value that it has, and how good it is. With the all-star team that they have there, there's no doubt in my mind that this game is going to be fire.
Okay.
Whatever it is, I don't know, but we need to find out. They need to announce it. I think we're going to find out soon. I think we're going to find out extremely soon what this game is.
He's talking VGAs, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm talking VGAs. I thought they were going to do it at the Xbox Game Showcase because there's a lot of rumors. The gameplay is ready to be shown. Phil's seen it multiple times. He's played the game. He was showing it to his daughter. Recently, Drew Murray and Daryl Gallagher had a lunch meeting together for the first time since March to discuss things. I think it's ready to be shown. I think they're talking about what they're going to show, what kind of gameplay they're going to show, how they're going to do it. I think we're going to see it very soon. They didn't show it before the console launch. The biggest stage this year, it's not E3. This year, the biggest stage for gaming as a whole, for all platforms, is the Game Awards. We didn't get E3.
Yeah,
they got stuff to show, and we're going to find out something. I don't know if it's going to be that game 100%, but we're going to find out something cool, and I hope it's Initiative's game, and I think we'll know more then.
Okay. All right, I got you, man. I think a lot of people are kind of like expecting big things from the VGAs, especially since what happened last year at the VGAs. I remember when they started showing the Series X, I literally yelled for the kids to come into the room. They weren't even watching. I'm like, yo, they are showing the next gen Xbox. Like, they could not believe it. We just sat there like our jaw hit the ground. Like that was huge to do at the VGAs.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick, shout out to Jesse Darby hitting up that super chat. And brother, I just want to put a disclaimer. Yo, Christopher, I love you to death, bro. Jesse, I love you to death. And I know you guys have this kind of like rivalry going on in the chat. And yes, you did hit up the super chat. So yes, I am going to read this. But I love both of you guys. I'm just letting you know that. Yo, Christopher's mom told me he was a failure at birth. So Jesse, does that mean you were there when he was born? And she just kind of leaned over to you and said, that's a failure right there? Or was it like later on?
He's Christopher Hart's daddy, is what he
Yeah.
said.
Who's your daddy?
Okay. So Jesse is Christopher Hart's dad. We all know that now. I think Chris is asking for child support now. I think that's what's going on.
He says he needs a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I think Chris has one. I think Chris actually has
I think Chris has one. It's debatable how many games he plays on it. But that being, you remember the whole VR thing that we went through with Chris?
Yeah.
That was. But yo, shout out, nothing but love to you guys, everybody in the chat. I appreciate the audience right now, guys. If you haven't done it yet, definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe as well. But Mav, do you have any more words before I move on to another panel member?
No, I just want to see what it is. I'm excited to see what it is. If it's episodic, I want to see what that means exactly for this game. But before that happens, then we can't. I don't know if there's too much to talk about.
Yo, brother, I do like what you said. Like when I said you read my mind, and I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna move over to Crispy real quick after I say this. But the whole timing of episodic, whether it's a smaller compact episode, then the timing would be even more important on when the next episode was coming out. If it comes out 5 years after that one drops, then it's not really a good thing. But I do like what you said, how timing is important when it comes to episodic games and the quality and stuff like that. I am in that boat with you, brother. You can sail away anywhere. I will be in that boat with you because I believe that is incredibly important when it comes to these types of games. So, with that being said, let's go for some hashtag Crispy Truth. And I am not used to him being so quiet, even though he does do this every week. He'll get really quiet, and then I'll call on him, and he will just explode. So, Crispy, we got the initiative, quadruple A game. Now we have Xbox Era, which they do talk to the Xbox guys. They are kind of like in that loop. They are in that loop with other, even with other YouTubers that we know that are also in that loop. They're kind of in that loop. They get to talk to the Xbox guys. I wish, what's going on, Phil? Phil, come talk to me, bro. I just want to play Tetris with you, man. That's all. But so they get to talk to these Xbox guys. They have come out and stated, at least one person on the podcast came out and stated, kind of like a Black Mirror type game, a universe, but it's episodic, and each story, each episode kind of like has its own story to it, connected in a bigger universe. That's what the initiative is making in terms of their game. What do you think, man? Are you down? Why or why not, bro?
Well, I mean, when I hear Black Mirror, I've watched a few of the episodes.
They can get really dark. Those episodes can get dark.
It's not only very dark, but they are similar but different. You know what I'm saying? So that they have similarities, but each episode is very different in the way it's approached. And I almost feel like, and if you're going into gaming involves movement style and just what your objectives are and and all the important things, you know, the story and everything else. But imagine, and you know, let's say you play a chapter of an actual story, but that's one group or person's story in this giant universe, and then you go to the next person, which it doesn't seem like it's connected at that time, and you have totally different powers or move sets, or you're in a totally different world. And you know, as you go on, even if it's just a full game, as you go on through the game, you're a little confused. You're learning it as you go, kind of. And then you get to a point in time where either the story or the people, you know, characters, people, something comes together. You know what I mean? At the end. And it's almost like, I mean, I think that would be like the ultimate launching point to like a new franchise, personally. I mean, if you're going to build a quadruple A quotation marks studio, then you got to go big. I mean, in my opinion, you got to create, you know, you got to create worth in each and every character. I mean, what better way to do that than individualizing each character and then kind of like putting you off and kind of like not realizing that it's all the same, you know, universe or area. You know, it's almost like if you split up the Avengers and play, you know, each one was by themselves for a long period of time, and then all of a sudden you brought them together. I think you would, you know, and that's kind of what they did. I mean, realistically, you know what I mean? Like you had Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. You really got invested in each character. And I think if you could do that, and you know, we hear the big budget they're getting, I mean, that would be pretty incredible. You know, create this universe.
Yeah.
And they come together, and they're not known characters. You know what I mean? It's nothing, it's a brand new thing. But it could, I mean, why not go off of kind of what Marvel like jigsaw together at a point in time, and they're like, we got to do this now. You know what I mean? Like, and they made it work. You know what I mean? But now have a complete and total plan of how that's going on. I see that's what, like, because episodic can mean a few different things. And, you know, one way is going like a tell me why or something like that. And the other way is saying like within the game, you feel like you're playing a different episode.
Yo, Crispy,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
gotta ask you a question, all right? Because like I understand. There's something here. Like Halo 1, 2, and 3. All right, Halo 1, 2, and 3 were all one story, right? They were all one story. The end of Halo 3 was, you know, people were actually wondering, you know, what's going to happen with Master Chief after that. Is there going to be another Halo?
Okay. Let me just stop you right there.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
But do you feel that Halo 2 was really just one story?
That's kind of what I'm saying here. Is like I understand episodic can mean certain things nowadays, but even Halo 1, 2, and 3, you know, and there was years in between each one, right? But to me, they were episodic in nature because even though Halo 1, it felt like there was a completion at the end, there was still a story being told. There was still more going down with the issue at hand. There was the Chief was not done fighting. Okay, there was still more that had to be done. So stay tuned for Halo 2. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's still episodic. I feel like we've been doing episodic content for a lot longer than people are really kind of like thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree, and I think, you know, they could just do it in kind of a different realm, like literally use a 20-hour, you know, game to be able to give you like each character, like, because at the end of Halo 2, I know a lot of people that really love that game more than any of the other ones, and they say like, I really like love Arbiter at the end of that. You know what I mean? Like, and they gravitate towards him more than even Chief at that time, and it's like, because you see what he went through. Like, you know, I've watched enough people play the games for the first time to understand like, wow, like this is happening. And they really kind of split it up. And I'm like, so imagine doing that with multiple characters, you know, and I feel that would be kind of episodic, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if, you know, because, you know, you think of the same universe, like we don't know what Black Mirror is going to end up being at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the whole point. Like, if you're going to start like a huge franchise, you got to start it right. You got to have somebody that'll gravitate to this character, somebody that'll gravitate to this character. I mean, that's kind of what Last of Us did in one way or another. You know, they had two characters, and you know, certain people gravitated to one or the other. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a smart play, but you know, add more like have 4 different characters that have 4 different stories that end up coming together, maybe at the end, or maybe it's a cliffhanger at the end. You don't know. Like these games are becoming almost movie status. So, I mean, we're at the point where like we're looking forward to the next one, you know, and that's the beauty of what we have right now. And we really had never had that. It was more or less like, yeah, it would kind of connect each other, but you never really had this feeling of like, hey, I'm going into the next episode and I get to control this. And that's really cool. You know what I mean?
Yo, brother, I absolutely love what you thought about in terms of the MCU. When you said Iron Man kind of like 1, 2, and 3, and kind of like, you know, each character having kind of like their own stories, creating a universe that way. And, you know, I would love to see kind of like a gaming studio build a universe like that. Now, unfortunately, you know, when it came to Xbox era and what they were talking about, if it was something like that, I figured they would say that more than they would say Black Mirror. But if there are any developers out there right now listening to us, and of course there are, you know, we are the next podcast. So, you know, take what Crispy said and definitely develop a world like that where you're taking like different characters and fleshing them out with their own stories, and then you're kind of bringing them all together, kind of like the way the Avengers and the MCU did. Crispy, I think that is an awesome idea. I don't necessarily think they're doing it at the initiative. If they are, dude, sign me up. I will be, you know, first in line to check out that game, because like that is an amazing idea right there.
Three games that comes to mind, but that could definitely benefit from that type of premise.
That was a good idea, right? And like
you know what I'm saying, yeah, no doubt. Is the Avengers game, for one, because I think that's what everybody kind of wanted, was to play with each individual character for a while, and then have, you know, and then if you want to try to jump in and play online with people, you can. But the way that they did it, they kind of rushed it from my understanding, because I haven't finished beating it yet.
The best part of that game is the story.
Yeah,
it's
the
not
story so
it's
far
not
is
the other
fire,
stuff.
dude.
It's the story.
Well, that's the part, because the story
Yeah.
part I'm playing, like, this game is hot because of
Yo,
everything
for
I'm playing.
real.
But if they did everything with like that, like with every character like that, with longer detail, then I think that game would be a lot more successful. Another game that comes to mind is Halo 5. If they did it like that, with the separation with Locke, with Team Osiris, and with Blue Team, I think that they would have had a better understanding about Team Osiris, and they would have got more of Chief of what they wanted, right? And then another game is Anthem, is what I think about. It's because, you know, it had the recipe for everything, but of course they just didn't flesh it out. If they
had that
made it
gameplay
to where
loop,
you
man,
did it.
that's the backbone right there. It had that.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean,
loop.
sometimes you have to, you know, I guess some people look at it as if you take something that's already worked before, and they look at it as like copying. But no, I think it's just kind of a form of flattery. That is an excellent point, what Crispy said. And I mean, I think a lot of games should do that. And if the initiative is doing that, that is exactly what you do to build up a fan base of people that want to like those, that will build for each character, because you don't have to like every character. It's just that particular character that you care about that makes you want to come back to each episode. That's what it's all about.
And then you also get fans of the universe itself, and they'll love to hate characters as well. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll play that next episode that has, you know, this Henry whatever just random character, even though they absolutely hate him because they know it's building in that universe they love, and they're waiting for that next episode that stars the character that they love. But they still want to get, the information from this episode with this character, even though they can't stand him. You get fans of like the entire universe at that point in time, and that creates something incredibly special when it comes to interactive entertainment. When you can get people who are fans of the universe, and at a certain point in time, that's also what happened with Halo when they came out with Halo 3 ODST. Now, there was a big complaint when ODST first came out, like, oh no, I want to play as a Spartan and all that good stuff. But even those people, they still bought the game and they still played it because they were fans of that universe. And then before you know it, you look down the line, which is what happens with a lot of Halo games. You get a lot of criticism when the game first launches. And then you look down the line over time, and all of a sudden people are like, well, that was actually my favorite Halo. And the kind of like the perception of that game changes. But, it's because people are fans of that universe. And I think that the initiative, this is what they're doing. They are onto something here where they have the talent and they have the quality in the studio, to do something like this, to really experiment and go out and try to do something big like this. And I can't wait to see what they do. Now, Sir X-Man, hit up that super chat one more time. Brother, thank you so much for the support. He says, I need a Robotech game. I would pay $100. Bro, if I could program, I would build you a Robotech game. If I was a developer and I knew how to code, I would build that for you to grab that $100. I'll
First,
even
just bring the older Robotech games back for backwards compat first.
Okay, that's
Get people
that's
familiar. Yeah,
that's an option. But shout out to you, Sir X-Man, brother. I love you. You are my golfing partner in crime. Let's go, Predator. Pred, are you awake, bro? Are you here? You're here.
Yeah.
All right, dude.
I thought everybody talked. That's why I thought Crispy was the last one.
No,
Damn.
Yo, Pred,
Right.
what do you think about the initiative here with their quadruple A scenario? Now we're hearing again rumor, like Mav said, like Fun Speculation said. This is rumor. These are just podcasters who are talking about what they heard. Now they do have a door that unfortunately I don't have that door that they can go through and kind of like talk to people who work at Xbox, stuff like that. I don't have that door, but they do. What do you think about this next game, this first game, possibly being kind of like Black Mirror, the whole episodic, more expansive world, separate stories for each episode, but kind of like loosely connected in this universe. Are you down for something like this from this studio?
I mean, it's different, but it's the same. I mean, like,
that's so true, though, man. That is so true.
It's not like
it's not like it's not a video game anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like the story. I mean, like the story part of it. I get it. It's you're building a story narrative, which is something that's not not really known for Microsoft Studios. Or something we've been asking for. So we get that, right? But I mean, I think you guys were talking about like how it's episodic and stuff like that, but we're kind of doing that already now. It's just not called episodic; it's called season passes. So like we're technically doing that now. Like we're playing episodic games. It's the name isn't tied to the episodic name, but it's still episodic. Like we've been playing Destiny 2 for fucking 3 years. We've been playing Fortnite for 3 years.
Well, I've been playing Destiny 2 for 3 years,
yeah.
Fred.
But you know what you're doing? Every time a new part of the episode comes out, they call it a season pass, and you buy it.
Expansion.
It's the same. It's an expansion, but it's still episodic / season pass.
It's a continuation of the story. It's exactly
the same fucking story. And that's what episodic games are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same. We're just calling it different shit, but we're already doing that now. So anybody out there complaining that they don't want this, you're doing it already. You just don't know it because they haven't really given you that definition. But that's by definition, that's exactly what season pass is. That's exactly what a new fucking DLC is. It's like it's expansion of the fucking story, which is exactly what episodic is. Yeah. You're still paying for it. It'd be different if it was free, but it's not. So I'm not knocking this process at all by any means, because it's a process that works. It's worked with The Division. It's worked with Rainbow Six. It's worked with fucking pick a game the last several years. We're doing it already. Again,
so you're saying basically the industry has been going this way? Yeah,
it's been going this way. We didn't realize it, and now some people are probably like, "Fuck, he's right." but that's what we've been doing this already. These game as a service games that we think are game as a service, they're episodic games. They're just adding more content to it each season, and it's just we've already been doing it before. And now, there's no set definition for it. Like, again, some people call it episodic, some people call it DLC, some people call it seasons, but it's the same fucking thing. We're still paying money to get that story expanded. I think the only catch with it is like Destiny does it better than I think a lot of other people do.
Ooh, say that again, brother. Say that one
No,
more
I'm not
time.
going to.
Oh.
The seasons from Destiny, they tie into things that were going on previously, where some like the season passes, it's just like, hey, we got Travis Scott in here now, we can do this, it's just like it's adding a new element to the game and maybe a new map or something like that, but essentially it's the same process. And so I don't know what the quadruple A thing is all about. I mean, to me, I don't want to hear any of this fucking fodder until I see the game. I mean, they can hype up this game all they want to, and this is just me taking my Xbox fanboy hat off, but Microsoft tends to hype up a lot of shit, and then when the game comes out, it's not what we expected. Or it's like, hey, let's hype up what the fuck was that game? Shrunk My Kids game that we were playing before. Grounded, right? They hyped the fuck out of that game for a little bit, and it was cool for a little while. And now it's just like, what's Grounded? So and it just goes away. So I don't think you're gonna do that with this company. They got too many people invested in making this game.
Too much salary.
Yeah, there's too much. Yeah, there's too much salary in it, just in general. But I think they're really trying to make something special. I do. I mean, but until we see it, I'm not going to get my hopes up, because that's what's kind of fucked us all in the past. We got our hopes up for something that was going to come out from Microsoft, and then it ends up being bullshit, like State of Decay 2, K-Mega's game,
Bleeding Edge.
Yeah, we want to see greatness out of this company. We know it's there. We can see it. It's like being a Cowboys fan.
But hold on.
Go ahead.
Battletoads,
right?
Was great. Okay.
It's like being a Cowboys fan. Every fucking season we come out there and we're like, oh, this is the year. We got a quarterback, we got receivers, we got all this shit ready to go, and then something fucking happens in the season, and it just fucking we shit the brick, right? And like we don't make the playoffs. We're 8-8. Fucking it's like that. And that's how I feel about being an Xbox guy sometimes. We see the potential there. We see that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that can make this company amazing. But then every now and then, they have everything's trending north for them,
and they fumble
and they fuck up and do something fucking completely
Then you get Aaron
stupid.
Greenberg in a onesie. Yes.
That's
tackle
minor
shit for the year or something.
They do something stupid, and they say something stupid, or it's like something happens, and then all that positive energy they started getting just fucking goes to shit. So to me, at this point, at 2021 or 2020, fucking 12/3/2020, at this point for me, it's not about the console. It's not about fucking onesies. It's not about a controller. It's about the games at this point. There's too much. They got too much going for them to not show us an amazing game. If you come out with some grounded, bleeding edge type cartoony shit, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. So
what do you got against cartoons, sir?
I'm gonna be honest with you, because we've been getting that for this whole you keep me, and I know y'all hate talking about Metacritic, but you come out with some cartoony butt snacks looking game, and it's fucking a 76 Metacritic from this company, from the people that are making this game and the people they have behind this shit, I'm disappointed.
Yo,
you got too many
Bugsnax-
people invested in this game. I know Bugsnax like a fucking 89.
That is K-Mega's game of the year right there.
Yeah, I was like, Bugsnax was an 87, so that was a bad scenario, man.
I'm just saying, but I'm talking about the way it looks. Like, I mean, like you got all this money invested in something, and I'm not knocking the game as cartoony because there's some.
What if it has? Okay, this is saying hypothetically. What if it has graphics like Ori? In that sense, like it's just absolutely breathtaking.
I expect the people they've hired for this job to be more realistic looking. I
know that, but I'm saying, what if the game has, they go with a drawing, like they go like with the style.
It depends. To me, it depends on how in
so
depth
damn
it
good.
If it's something like super in depth, not like an 8-hour game. Like I'm talking like I need like a fucking 30-hour fucking Witcher 3 fucking Assassin's Creed out of this game that they're making, and it needs to look good. It needs to be really in depth. It needs to be more than just like a side scroller beat 'em up. Like I need like something. Honestly, I want something on the scale of Red Dead 2 times 2.
Yeah.
I need something like that from them.
They're going for realism, I think, like you said.
Yeah.
Man. Graphical
Red Dead times 2, bro. That's you just going back in time and seeing real cowboys and Indians and shit. Brother.
Yeah, that's like quadruple A right there.
I mean, that game looks. Have you seen that? What it looks like on the Series X yet?
It's insane.
Bro, I'm just saying, why are we getting like? But the thing is, like, I talk about the company, like I'm talking about Microsoft as a whole, and the games they've released the past couple of years, and they've been like, Ori is a great game. I love it for what it is. But every now and then I need a Red Dead. Every now and then I need a Assassin's Creed game.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so like for the amount of money and the amount of hype and the amount of personnel that they've hired for this studio, if they come out with something like Ori, I'm gonna probably be a little bit disappointed. I want something more realistic out of this next game.
I think that could be a reason for them to be episodic, is to keep it tighter so they can actually focus more on the visuals and the appeal and not have to make a 20-30 hour experience all at, because that takes a long time.
That takes a lot of years. Yeah.
So if you keep it like tighter scenarios like that, you can have it more frequently come out with tighter experiences, but have that like insane visuals. And like if you're talking about episodic, the other benefit is like y'all were talking about is just like attention to like the characters and stuff, right? And attention to the story. Like my favorite Star Wars is The Mandalorian. Right?
Okay.
That's epic. That's an episode because you invest more in the character. You know what I mean? So look at that, Yeah,
and I'm not knocking episodic games at all. I mean, like I said, we've been playing them. We just named it differently. So like I'm not knocking that aspect of it because I know there's a lot of benefits for doing something like that because you can take your time. Like let's say they drop the initial game, they fix the bugs that are gonna come with it because they always have them. And then after that, they start focusing a lot more effort into the second part of it, not only just fixing the bugs and the issues, but like when you have episodic games like this, you can correct some of the things that the fan base is looking for. That if you just drop a game out and just say, here's the game, like you don't get a chance to fix certain things other than bug fixes, but like there's certain character things, there's certain gameplay mechanics. You could fix those things in the next episode. So like that's one of the positives of having an episodic game. So like you can actually change some of the mechanics and some of the story and some of the graphics and something like there's always things you could change with that fucking 40 fucking gigabyte patch that's gonna come out later. So like, but if you just drop a game and that's all you do, and then you just fix little small things, you're stuck with what you got. So I mean, they make an episodic game again. This is Microsoft's way now, going game as a service / episodic now is what we're gonna call it. Like they can put this in Game Pass, they can build on it. I mean, they can pull the Sea of Thieves. They drop it, they keep adding to it over and over. Every fucking bug fix, every fucking patch, they add something later to it, and it makes the game better. So the game you get day 1 and the game you get day 5,000, it's going to be completely different.
Brother, I don't want that. You know what I'm thinking
That's what's happening. That's what we're doing right now.
Master Chief Collection.
Well, hopefully
100%.
not with the initiative. Like I know what they did with Sea of Thieves and stuff like that. And guys, in the chat we are getting to the Forbes topic right after this, and that is going to be kind of like the main event topic. So
get into it.
But just real quick, just real quick, and I know they said Black Mirror, but guys, you got to remember, I'm 41 years old. Like if the initiative is doing something and trying to create a universe like the Twilight Zone, I am down for that. Where every episode it's a different story, but it's within that universe, and it's something so kind of like creepy, uncomfortable, outlandish. But each story is different, and it just all ties back to going back into the quote unquote Twilight Zone. If it's something like that,
it's gonna be in a season. It's gonna be a season of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got to move on. We got to move on. But first, I got to hit the super chat. Game Down Sights, my brother. He says people think episodic equals short, and that's not always the case, brother. That is why I brought up I brought up Halo 1, 2, and 3 because that was literally one story. And even though there were years in between, and yes, they were considered quote-unquote sequels, if you look at it, they were just really long episodes in a 3-part story altogether. So I see exactly what you're saying there. Shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up the super chat one more time. He says, how about Flight Simulator World War, full multiplayer game with area clans to protect territories from all over the world? That will be dope, brother. That sounds sick right there. Like dogfights and stuff like, oh my goodness. In the Flight Simulator and how they developed the Flight Simulator game, that would be insane if they could do that. If they could pull off something like that, that would be crazy. And Sir X-Man, I know you love your flight games, bro. I know you love those games as well. I think there is a fan base out there for them. So, guys, we got to talk about. First off, I'm blending two things here together. The Forbes article, and I'm looking at it right now. It's titled "Why the Xbox Series X is 2020's biggest gaming disappointment." And I do, as soon as I read the title to this article, I think clickbait right off the bat. When you see like biggest, 2020's biggest, we're going towards the end of 2020. It's definitely made to have people read the article, get the clicks. But I'm taking this article and I'm also blending it in with Brad Sam's review that wasn't a review of the Series X. So I hope you guys have watched that as well. But basically, he came out and stated that Brad Sams came out and stated that if you're a hardcore Xbox guy and you're gonna buy, you're gonna be involved in the Xbox ecosystem, you are the one who bought the Series X day one, and you are gonna be completely happy. It is it is the most powerful Xbox ever made. Blazing fast load times, all that good stuff. All the features stuff. You are gonna love this. He says, for the other people out there, the other gamers out there, Brad Sams basically said, it could be a definite possibility to wait a year. When it comes to the quick resume feature on this system, it doesn't work with every game. When it comes to a true definitive optimized game for the Series X, and I think this is something that the panel is kind of going to go crazy on, that even Brad Sam said this. Brad Sam said that there isn't really that one killer app for the Series X where the game just outperforms everything so much. It's like it's a no-brainer that you have to play it on the world's most powerful Xbox. And going back to the Forbes article, they're basically saying that with the OS being the same, again the same thing when it comes to the games, they're saying that there's no real killer app that makes people say, I absolutely need to get the Series X to play this game. That's basically what the Forbes article is saying, that it's not really they're comparing the Series X as a better Xbox One X. And I gotta ask you guys, you know what? I'm gonna start with Crispy on this one. Well, we haven't started with Crispy on a topic yet, and I think this would be a good one to start. So, Crispy, first off, I gotta know, kind of like first part of the question here, if you went in and checked out the Forbes article and you checked out kind of like Brad Sam's video, because I did put them both together in the topics. Because is Forbes attacking the Series X here, or do they have anything viable to say about this? Do you think that what they're saying here about no killer app, about the OS being the same, when it comes down to even like the controller, it's just it's an improvement to the Xbox One controller, but it's nothing like absolutely mind blowing and stuff. And basically, what Forbes is saying is that this is just a step up from the One X. Do you agree with this article? What do you think's going on here? Do you think Brad Sams inadvertently is agreeing with Forbes' article with what he was saying in his Series X review?
Did you say he reviewed it or didn't review it?
Well, he called it, and this was the way. It's right in the beginning of the video. He goes, "This is an Xbox Series X review. That isn't a review." And if you ever watch Brad Sams, first off, he reports on Microsoft stuff. He'll report on Surface, the phones and stuff like that. Like he reports on Windows, all that good stuff, and of course Xbox as well. And if you ever look, Xbox is clearly where he gets his views at.
Let's be honest, Pot. Like literally what you just said about what Brad Sam said, and then what Forbes put as their headline. It's all freaking clickbait, dude. Like, this is my problem.
Really a clickbaity guy, though. He really isn't.
But you know what? That doesn't make sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, you go past the clickbait that Forbes, instead of saying is next gen really next gen or something, some simple headline. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They had to call out Xbox. Okay, even though he's praising praising Xbox, for what they've done. Okay, and he's also saying that even some PlayStation 5 users might be disappointed in what they've gotten. So
he did say that as well. Good job.
So the actual article is not bad, but you've already destroyed your credibility by the headline.
Crispy. Hold on, Crispy. Yo, Albert, Brad Sams does not work for Microsoft, okay? And he didn't say not to buy a Series X, okay? So you need to watch that video again, brother, and stop cherry picking different words out of that video.
This is what some people take from stuff that they see based on articles and just little tidbits here and there. They make up their own idea of the reality in their minds and just run with it.
So I'm gonna take this first paragraph that I saw that was kind of funny to me, and I'm gonna read it real quick. Okay. And this is from the Forbes article. It says the Series X is the first major console release that feels like a small step for gaming rather than a giant leap. Sure. Loading times are lightning quick. Frame rates are largely superb. Dynamic lighting is on the whole new level. But has it delivered anything close to the awesome experience I built in my head? Now keep in mind, this dude goes on to say that he's 30 plus years old, about my age, and says that he's felt these giant leaps before. Well, I disagree, because usually we're only talking about resolution. That is number one. You had no extra loading times. Maybe you did, but nobody advertised it, number one. Number two, you probably didn't care or even realize it happened. So literally, you just called out three things that are great on this console that just came out, that only one thing I've experienced in my life is better resolution, maybe colors, stuff like that. Loading was, sometimes you would notice. Most of the time you wouldn't. And I mean, we're going from minutes to 30 seconds. I mean, that's noticeable.
I will say real quick, Crispy. I will say there were certain generations that were leaps and bounds better than the previous. If you look at like the Super Nintendo and the N64 going into a 3D world at that point in time was absolutely insane. Everything that we saw, before time was really kind of like 2-dimensional based. They would use little tricks to try to do 3D and stuff like that. Going from
do you know what came out at the same time as the N64? The
PS1.
Sega Saturn.
Oh, Sega Saturn?
Yeah, the Sega Saturn.
So that's the same.
And I bought the Sega Saturn, and that was literally like it was 3D enabled immediately.
Yeah, but that's the generation I'm saying. That was a generational.
But
it wasn't a platform.
Yes, it was a huge leap. I get it.
Yeah.
But for what we're going to get at this point, we've already had, these younger kids have no clue what the hell we're talking about.
And
okay,
another,
you know what I'm saying?
Another thing, Crispy, real quick. The OG Xbox, which was the most powerful system for its generation, and then the 360. The 360, it wasn't just about resolution. Like, I remember seeing Call of Duty 2 being played like at BJ's Wholesale Club, and seeing the explosions and the way the smoke kind of like lingered and stuff like that. There was graphical things, graphical assets, graphical animations and stuff that I never saw in video games, and I owned the original Xbox. So to me, that was a big leap as well. So I can kind of see what he's saying there, but I also see what you're saying, where he built something in his mind, and because he built that in his mind, now this generation and the Series X, and from what he said, PlayStation people with the PS5 as well. In the article, he said that, not in the title, but in the article, where he built something in his mind, and what they offered him, it didn't compare to what he had built in his own imagination.
Here's the problem what I have with these journalists, okay? Most of them have like these giant PC rigs like Mr. Pred over here, okay? Right? he gets the Mr. title because he's PCMR, Mr. You know? So you got these giant PC rigs. You probably played half these games already on your PC, and then you go to this little box, and some of them are impressive, some of them are not. But none of them are impressive to Pred right now, which I'll give Pred a lot of credit. He's very truthful. I have no problem with his points, even when he went in on Xbox. I have absolutely none. I didn't argue with him, nothing, because you know what? It's up to what your standard is. You know what I'm saying? So like when I got HDR on my 1S for the first time, that looked amazing. And yes, you have to have the right hardware involved. You have to have the right TV and everything else. You have to have HDR enabled, all that stuff. As soon as I had that, it looked amazing. But was it a huge leap? Absolutely not. But my huge leap is waiting for freaking, it feels like forever. I can sit there on my phone, tweet a bunch of tweets, do all this on my 1X right now. And it's just like, oh, finally the game loaded. Thanks. And it's like, dude, like, I don't know what you're going to expect for a huge leap at this point, because it's not like back when we had older consoles that were actually more powerful, at least game wise, than the PCs that were coming out. Like, a lot of people don't realize that. So you have to realize that's the reason why, like ZeniMax and everything, that's why they put their stuff on the original Xbox, because it was actually pretty freaking powerful, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, it was an incredible console that I really have never played, because I was a PlayStation guy. Dude, you know what I mean? And that's what I loved my SOCOMs. I loved everything that they were bringing out at that time. Okay, so I loved all those things, and I played them, and they had a huge wall compared to even Xbox or Sega at any point in time, PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. So I went for the games at that point, but it wasn't just first party. These were all third party games that were just like, hey, we're not even going to release to these little guys here. We're just going to go to the big PlayStation wall and have fun. And then I had a bunch of different games I could play. So my whole point is that you want to leap. here's your leap for once. Because I haven't seen a leap. I mean, yes, I bought the TV. I got, the One X. It looked great, but did it look super better than the One S? Not really. I'm sorry. It looked better.
Well, than the original Xbox One, I will say, in terms of leaps, that high dynamic range color, that is a game changer for me between the original Xbox One and then the One X. That was a leap for me personally, man. I was like, wow.
Well, I had that on the One S, and it did make a difference. Okay. But I mean, we're talking about, so like I said, 3 things that he's talking about, and you have to realize that there's literally 2 games that are really truly optimized fully, at least as close as fully as possible on the Series X right now, and it's Gears 5 and Ori, and that's it.
Thank you.
Okay,
but that is fully optimized. Those 2 games are fully optimized.
No, Gears 5 is not fully optimized.
Oh, I thought it.
It is not.
Nope, it is not.
It is very, very close to fully optimized. But you're going to see that when they release the new campaign DLC. From what I hear.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you're going to see the fully optimization if you have a Series X. So if you haven't touched Gears 5, you played a lot of the other Gears or a couple of them. If you haven't touched Gears 5, wait until I think it's like in a week, I believe. But they're still they want to make sure it comes out right. They're sick and tired of like releasing broken shit, and they've been doing a really good job about it, by the way, because I play the game more than most people. So they've been doing a really good job about trying to make
and
the
you
game
don't even
better.
have a tattoo, right?
And I don't have a tattoo. Yes,
and you beat the game, right?
And I beat the game, and I have like a good like 25, 30 days into the game already. So, and I had 48. And so I played this game more than Gears 4, by the way. But that's my whole point. Like, we're not going to see, and unfortunately, we're seeing games that have already come out really utilize what's going on. And I look forward to what we see of like the Hellblade 2s, of the Avoweds, of Starfield. I feel like they're almost rebuilding Starfield because of how powerful the Series X is, because they want to release it at the highest fidelity, and like it loading in like 10 seconds, and you'd be like, wow, this giant world just loaded it in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, that's absurd. Like, I was sitting here the other day playing Outer Worlds, and I'm like, it's been a minute and a half. I've had like 3 tweets go out. What's going on here? Like, are you gonna load? Dude. And then it finally I was like, did it freeze? I don't know. Like,
dude, you are preaching to the choir on that one. When I first heard about dramatic decrease in load times, that is what I was like, sign me up for next gen right then and there, man. I don't even care, because my Destiny 2 sitting there waiting on that Rainbow Road was getting absolutely infuriating. Not only that, but I used to play GTA 5 a lot. I had like a crew together, like a bank robbing crew and stuff like that. The load time in that game just completely got me to stop playing it. I didn't want to sit there waiting forever, man.
And the quick time events, like all that stuff, everything's moving much more fluid. A lot of people are saying that, and the frames per second are going to come even to bigger play as we get into next year. And I think really like what we're going through right now with COVID has become a major issue for these devs. I think they wanted to put out a better product, a lot of them, than what we've got.
We're almost out of that stuff, because you got Pfizer and other companies saying that they have a vaccine and all that good stuff. So it's months down the road.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Everything.
Our broke asses ain't getting that shit until sometime next year, at the end of next year. Yeah, but it ain't coming to Xbox 448 in 2 months. Nah,
K-Mac, we'll buy games before we buy.
We'll have more games. Halo. Let's put it like this: Halo and probably God of War and Forza will be out before.
I can't wait for
get
Forza
our hands on that,
Motorsport,
bro.
man.
So Let's say that.
The stuff I've been hearing kind of like behind the scenes when it comes to Forza Motorsport, I cannot wait for that. But yo, shout out to Six Slayer, our GRG brother, for hitting up that super chat. He said both the PS5 and Xbox Series X are just better versions of the same systems. Being custom PC hardware only assures that for future generations. And brother, I hear what you're saying. And you know what? There's a part of me that also, if you look back, and I'm being a realist when it comes down to it, there's a part of me that misses. Do you remember 2013 when the Xbox One dropped? You know, seeing Rise, Son of Rome, seeing Dead Rising 3, seeing Forza Motorsport 5, having all those new experiences ready for you when you have a new console. Not for anything. That's something that, like, I can see people missing right now when it comes to the Series X. Yes, we got games coming out, the Medium and Scorn, and, we got Call of the Sea coming out this month as well. But there was something about having that lineup there. All right, having that lineup of those games there. And of course, now with x86 and a huge focus on backwards compatibility, I do understand where, unfortunately, Microsoft and Xbox, they were Halo Infinite was going to be that gem. And it was going to be that high replay gem. You saw the marketing when it came to, like, Monster and other kind of like products. They were going all in with that, and unfortunately that game got delayed. But there is something that, definitely there is something to be said about that launch lineup, kind of like what we saw with the Xbox One, and I don't think anybody can necessarily deny that. On that note, I am gonna go to K Mega on this. K Mega, I know you had to see the Forbes article. I don't know if you watched the Brad Sams video or not. Now, Brad Sams, again, he reports on Microsoft stuff, and he is known as a Microsoft/Xbox guy. But when it came down to it, he did say, except for those hardcore Xbox gamers who know that they are going to play on the Xbox platform and they went in and bought it day one, when it comes to the ones that are maybe on the fence a little bit more, he said maybe wait a year. These features are going to be ironed out and they're going to be more kind of like smoothed out in terms of an experience. You are going to have games out there like Halo Infinite, stuff like that. There are going to be some gamers that might feel that waiting a year, they'll have a more unique experience with the Series X. And then, of course, with Forbes, they're saying that, it's not necessarily that leap of a generation that they were hoping for. What do you think about the article? And if you did watch Brad Sam's video, do you think Brad Sam's video kind of agrees with what the Forbes article is saying?
No, I didn't watch it and I didn't read it. For
Really?
2 reasons. Yeah, no, I mean, it to me, it's.
I put it in the topics though, bro. Like,
no, like I said, I didn't get to see the topics, but regardless, this is the thing for me.
Oof.
I like Brad Sam's content.
He's a cool guy.
I think that, what I'm saying, he's a smart guy. But I feel like he's playing off of the rhetoric that seems never to die when it comes to Xbox. And I understand that the intentions are good, but overall, it only just brings out the same rhetoric over and over and over. Xbox has problems. Xbox doesn't get everything right. Xbox does this. Xbox does that. While on the other side, get a PlayStation. Yeah, no, we don't care that the damn thing is burning up. We don't care that the fans is going crazy.
Brad Sams did a video about the PlayStation having issues.
I don't care, Bot. Listen.
Okay.
You asked me a question, I'm giving you my answer. This is going on here. This is going on there. But you know what the fan base is saying over there? Man, this is the best PlayStation generation, man, of all time. Man, Dark Souls, this and that. They're enjoying gaming.
Or they're trying to say they are. Either way.
I mean, anybody. Okay, this is the thing.
Hold on. There are some people that are.
No, bro. I think no. Okay, come on, Bot, chill. I think really what
you're
doing, you're really over pushing this, in my opinion. So chill, relax. This is the thing. when everybody's already seen what the issues were going on with PlayStation, and if somebody is still trying to get a PlayStation, what is that telling you? They don't give a shit about all that. They just want to get a PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation fan base is talking about how much fun they're having, how great it is over there, regardless of what we've seen online or whatever. Why is it that Xbox gamers can't do that? Or people who are Xbox-centric channels do that? Why do we always have to question everything? Now, again, I'm not saying that what he's saying is wrong. It's his channel. He says what he wants to. But it also, to me, it's always feeding into this narrative that there's always something wrong with Xbox while everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. We know the shortcomings with the Nintendo Switch. We know the shortcomings with the PlayStation, and we know everything is always fixated on the shortcomings of Xbox. Why is it that people just can't get an Xbox and be happy as hell with it, despite the issues that it has? Yes, just talk about the issues, but coming out and just saying, "Oh man, no, you can wait a year on this," that's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Because when I sit here and when we'll talk about something that's going on with PlayStation. When I talked about it like 2 weeks ago, I said, look, I mean, if there's problems here, they should talk about it. They should address it. But not one time I said, well, man, they need to wait a year. They need to sit back a year. No, just get a warranty. If you're reluctant on going to get a console, it most 9 times out of 10 it's because of the fact that the demand is so strong. That's the reason why they don't have one, or it's because of the price. Because every time we go through this, there's always every generation even from the damn Atari. We can even go before that to the Magnavox. The first adopters are always going to get the raw end of the stick for the most part, because there's going to be problems, and then they'll eventually get better with the consoles. So yeah, I did a video talking about the quick resume, and I told him that some games did work, some games didn't work. But again, that's something that's going to get patched later. Now, if that's all that you wanted to buy the new console for was quick resume, then you should wait.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting here wanting to get a new console because that is something that you are really wanting to get, by all means, it doesn't matter if it's a PlayStation or an Xbox, or if it's a new PC.
The Ouya 3. The Ouya 3.
Get it. Because if that's what you want, that's what you should get. And nobody should tell anybody, well, you should hold off. And this and this. And then this whole bullshit about, well, games has never had these huge leaps and bounds, and we're all playing the same thing. We went through this last gen. Games didn't get better. This happens every damn gen. You get a showcase game, and then everything else is kind of the same until after the second year.
We got 3 showcase games on the Xbox One with Rise, Son of Rome, Forza Motorsport 5, and Dead Rising 3. Let's be real.
And let's be real. But what happened with all that? Resolution Gate, DRM Gate.
I didn't care. I didn't care about all that.
No. But this is what I'm talking about, Bot. You're feeding into the bullshit because you didn't care about it then. So why the fuck would you care about this dumb shit now? That's the thing I'm talking about. Like, I understand it's a topic, but it annoys me to where it's like, really, we're really going to say this now? We're really going to sit here and try to put gaming behind because of speculation or a little thought of, well, this has hitches here. There's always been hitches with first adopters. It's never ever been where every console has been perfect. The Nintendo is the one thing at least that gives you the better product, but it still has its shortcomings itself. So I think it's ridiculous. I think it's also just part of the conversation. Is just, I think there's just one of the things like, look, we don't really have too much to talk about, so I'm just going to go ahead and just put this in here. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little.
It's definitely a clickbait, yo. It's clickbait. For Brad Sams, I disagree with you completely. By the way, because I watch his channel, I watch his videos, I watch his non-Xbox, I watch his Microsoft stuff, I watch his Windows stuff, and he's not necessarily a clickbaiter per se. It's exactly what he feels.
The intentions may be good. I'm not saying that he's a clickbaiter, I'm saying, but that's a clickbait topic. That's something to me that's like if, like we know certain other YouTubers that come out there and they come out and they say, whoa, big, huge news. Xbox is done. Or, wow, big news. PlayStation set a house on fire. We know that is clickbait. That's clickbait
read those
shit.
Titles in your voice from now on. I'm going to hear that in my head. Like,
and bro, it's like you already know when you go in there what you're going to. And look, it can be some kind of little story talking about oh man, somebody was eating and they probably was smoking a cigarette and then they burned their blanket and then it almost caught the PlayStation on fire. That's the type of shit that you get in the video. But when you look at the headline, that's how I look at this. It's ridiculous. Early, every time we get a new console, we have these issues. And for coming out and saying that there's not plenty to play, when the very first topic that you brought up is how much value that Game Pass give gamers, is completely it makes this whole point about the Forbes title, and even what Brad Sam saying, look, like I said, I respect, brother, but that shit to me is very minute. Get back to doing the good shit that you've been doing on your channel, brother. That's not it though.
I got you. Yo, let me shout out my brother Z Black Rider, who is in the chat, and he hit up the super chat. Thank you, brother, for the support. I definitely appreciate it. He said Xbox is doing the shift Office did. He said, relax, people, Series S will be competing with PS5 in 18 months. Yo, brother, when it comes to the Series S, I think people are underestimating that dynamic machine for its price point. I think in the long run, man, that system is going to surprise a lot of people who follow the business side of, the console industry. But yo, shout out to Sir X-Man as well, hitting up that super chat one more time. He said, my job's getting off the vaccine. We're essential. So no matter what, Sir X-Man is getting the vaccine. He is going to be ahead of the line. He is going to be ahead, K-Mega, of us poor folk, is what he's trying to say. He is doing a little vaccine flexing there. Yo, let's go to our special guest. Fun speculation, aka Mav. I knew this was going to be a hot topic. You heard K-Mega's passion there. When it came down to what Forbes is talking about, and of course Brad Sam's video. What do you think here in terms of Forbes article? I believe you read it. I'm not sure if you checked out Brad Sam's video or not. I do go to his channel. I do like what he has to say. And there are points in time when it comes to Windows updates, stuff like that. When he feels like something is off, something's not right, he will say it on his channel when it comes to Microsoft. But what do you think here? What do you think about Forbes' article? Are they literally attacking the Series X here? And do you think that Brad Sams is inadvertently agreeing with what Forbes is saying about the Series X?
I think they, as far as Forbes, they just wanted clicks. That's why the article's named what it is. Because if you actually read the article, it's not even about that. It's actually more about the guy having a midlife crisis and not knowing. Seriously, though, if you actually read the article, it is. It's about him like, hey, is video games exciting to me anymore? I don't know.
No.
Let me ask these questions. That's what the article reads like. I don't know why they made the title what it is. That's just stupid, in my opinion, and irresponsible.
Well, you know why.
Yeah, I know why. It's irresponsible, and it's they shouldn't do it. However, they did, so it is what it is. People can read that. If you're reading stuff like that and basing your decisions on that, then I feel bad for you as an individual as well. Okay, so don't worry about whatever they say. It doesn't matter. Okay, look at what's out there. All the information, you have all of this information. It's all out there in the world. You can look at it. You can find out, hey, what's on Game Pass? What's this game like? Is this game for me? How is it performing? All of that stuff's out there. If it's for you, it's for you. It doesn't matter what Brad Sam says. It doesn't matter what Forbes says. You should know this. You're a person. You know what you want. You know what you want. You don't need somebody else to tell you what you want. If you want it, you want it. Okay. Wow. Now, Brad Sams, he has a right to his opinion.
Yes.
He's an individual. He's a content creator. He's a smart guy. Now, I'll say this, based on what he said. If you play a lot of games and you're listening to this, then the console probably is going to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a guy that plays Call of Duty and that's all you play, or you don't really care, you just play like a game or two a year, then it doesn't matter, right? Then you should know that already about yourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of people that he's talking to, which is those kind of people are way more in numbers than the hardcore, than us listening and talking in this podcast right now, okay? So it shouldn't matter to you that he says that. It doesn't matter. It's just a guy's opinion. And he has a platform, but if you actually put out there all of the other platforms that people have where they say the exact opposite, that doesn't get talked about. It doesn't get talked about. All that gets talked about.
Oh, where'd he go? Hello.
I hear you.
You hear me? Okay. Yeah, Xbox can't hear me.
Okay, now no, you're back now. All you guys are back. I heard nothing.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if they heard me or not, but yeah, as far as Brad Sam's, like it's just one guy's opinion. And if you don't know already, based on what you know, then I'm sorry, right? So as far as what he says, according to Forbes, I think it's completely two different opinions, two different things, right? Yeah, I don't think he's worried about what Forbes says, or Forbes is worried about what Brad Sam says. I think that he just is stating what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't make you happy, then oh well, then just ignore it. You know what I mean? I'm telling you right now that I think the Series X was 100% worth it. That's from my perspective.
Yes,
because I got agree. Not only do I have all these new games that just came out to play and that are still coming out to play that are going to perform better on this console than any other platform that I own, then I mean that's all I need to know. Plus the Game Pass, the quick resume, the fast loading times, all the old games that I own as well are already performing better on this machine than I've ever performed before. Mm-hmm. I'm not a PC guy like Predator is, right? I have not experienced a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla running at 60 frames per second before. That was a transformative experience to me and a leap like I have never had in gaming when it came to a game like that. And it was amazing. I can't go back. I tried playing my 1X in another room. I was like, this is trash now. Like it took 3 seconds for something to happen. No. I have to have the Series X now.
Thank you, Matt, for throwing us previous gen players. Like,
see, I'm glad that he did that because I wanted to do it, but I was trying to save. Because I know Crispy ain't got his yet. I know you ain't got yours yet. But yeah, see, but I was ready to let y'all have it. But I was. Go ahead, Matt. Continue, please.
If you compare the experience that we have on the Series X compared to what we have on the 1X and the 1S, it's insanely better.
Hey, me and Game Down Sites was making fun of Yobi and them, like, bro, because we were already loaded into the game. And we was like, hey, man, what's taking y'all so long? Hey, man, I ain't got it yet. Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I always feel bad. I feel like when I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know you're on the 1X or the Xbox One.
You're one of those gamers.
I didn't mean to rub it in your face, man. I didn't mean to rub it in. I'm sorry, dude. Talking about how good
you already got the shit stain on our face. It's okay.
Sir X-Man was over here. Shut up. Stop talking about it. I'm sorry, man. What's taking you so long? Damn, man. I can go fix me a sandwich,
dude.
Man.
And when Call of Duty crashes because it's a broken game right now, how much longer it takes those guys to get it booted back up?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, we're back in 3 seconds.
Wow. Okay, this didn't turn into a praise this next gen and screw the 1X gamers podcast. Okay, you calm down, guys. You calm down.
Just wait till Fred get a hold of you.
That's what this is about. It's about the value of jumping into next gen. And until you experience it and go back, it's like, that's where the value is. You can't go back. If I could go back, then the value wouldn't be there. Right?
Yeah,
but I can't go back. It's a bad experience for me now. Right? Like, I'm not trying to trash your experience. You're going to get one eventually, Xbot. I know you are. Right? But if I go back now, it's like I turn back time. It's like I'm like 5 years in the past, right? It's weird. Like when you start playing on this, it's a transformative experience.
He is disrespecting y'all. Damn.
Oh man.
It's true though, man.
Wait
Anybody
till I
that has a
go.
Series X and is playing it,
This is what K-Med calls white on white crime right here.
I love it.
whenever anybody that owns a Series X or PS5 and they go back and play a PS4 or an Xbox One OG or Xbox One X, it can tell you the difference of the experience. It's the experience as a whole is a bigger leap than I've ever experienced going from one platform to another.
Dude, just look at
That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, Mav, and this is where like there are things that I disagree with, especially like Forbes, like the title of their article and stuff like that. This coming Tuesday, a game that I love, right? Destiny 2, a game that I love is getting its next gen enhancements and the multiplayer for people who can do this, and my son can. He's got a computer monitor. The multiplayer Crucible will be 120 frames per second on the Series X, right? And that is something that I would love to, get involved in. When it comes down to it, the rest of the game, the campaign.
What Fun is saying is that you will never go back after that.
You can't.
No, and I understand that. So for right now, I haven't eaten the fruit of that tree yet. So I'm straight right where I am right now. I do want to upgrade. Unfortunately, I can't right now. And I'm also looking at the Series S as an option to possibly be able to get in there quicker. And I am really impressed with the Series X and what it's doing performance-wise when it comes to the price. Now, of course, native resolution is dropped down a bit when it comes to the Series S, but all the upscaling that is done nowadays to put an image on a 4K television, it's all done really, really well. And I think that there is definite quality in both the Series S and the Series X. I do feel like these systems, like this generation, even though we don't have that classic launch lineup that I know some people do miss out there, the performance gains alone when it comes to upgrading to these systems, I think are worth, are worth the purchase in and of themselves. I'm not speaking for myself on this. I'm trying to look from kind of like that wider standpoint there. And shout out to Z Black Rider for hitting up that super chat. I hope you guys love how I will just continuously, and then go right into a super chat. I see the opportunity. I got to take it. Yo, Z Black Rider, thank you so much for the support, brother. He says, let's settle down. Brad is an exemplary source of info. Shut the fuck up when you have a gamer brain. Now, and I think he's talking to the chat on that. There were people going in on Brad and stuff like that in the chat as well. And he is a great source for Microsoft information.
My point with Brad, he can't. I watch his videos.
He can't make a mistake either, though. That's the point. Like, I think that there's a lot of people in the chat as well as people in all different types of podcasts that makes great points. And that's the reason why you guys listen to not only to us but to other podcasts out there. But it's not like that everybody doesn't have a problem where they slip up and they bring up something that's a little shaky. And to me, that was a little shaky. That's just my opinion.
With him too, like everybody's focusing. That's just it's his opinion, right? Yeah. I mean, like if you focus your decision around one person's opinion, why would you do that?
Make your own opinion.
Also, there's a lot of people that have the opposite opinion on YouTube, and that have videos out there, but all of a sudden one guy says something like that, and it's like, oh my gosh, hey, here, let's point to this one thing that somebody said. Hey, this must be the real answer because somebody said it that covers Microsoft, right? That's stupid. I'm sorry.
People are cherry picking all day, all day, brother.
There's somebody in the chat that keeps cherry picking one negative thing, you know, and you know who I'm talking about. They'll keep cherry picking that one negative thing that somebody says about Xbox, and oh, he must be right about that because he said this, right? But all the other 99% of the stuff that's like positive
Everything
Xbox
else he
out
said
there,
was bullshit.
it goes in one ear out the other, right?
Oh,
People
God.
cherry pick what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They focus on that. They put it out there to try and emphasize their own ideas and their own thoughts, right? Brad Sams is a guy just like any of us, right? He has a successful YouTube channel. He's a smart guy. I respect his opinion. I disagree with it. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yo, definitely. Yo, and shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat. And I agree with this one. I definitely agree with this one because it's in beta and it wasn't working last time. Maybe it's working now, but he says what sucks is we can't play Mortal Kombat 11 on Fight Night. They have the cross-gen in beta, but I'm not sure if it's working yet. Yo, K-Mega, do you know if that cross-gen is
No, it's not working yet, and that's not an Xbox thing. That's just a Mortal Kombat thing.
Yeah, that's the developers and you know, getting that whole thing situated. So yeah, no, yo, Sir X-Man, I definitely agree with you. I was there when we first tried, and it's like, yo, what was going on? And they're putting us in separate kind of like lobbies, and we couldn't come together.
You know, is Sir X just going at, you know,
hey, it's 8:45. I gotta go, and we gotta fucking close out. So let's move on to me, so we can fucking finish.
Oh yeah, definitely, yo. All right,
damn.
All right, Pred. My bad, brother. Pred, shit. What do you have to say about this Forbes article, Brad Sams video, all this stuff? Are they attacking Series X here, bro?
I'm gonna go back in time.
Everybody come with me.
This is why he said this just before.
When all these new consoles came out and we start getting wind of these consoles, I told y'all motherfuckers, I'm buying a fucking graphics card for my PC, right? And there's a reason why, because I knew I would get more out of that than I would out of these consoles, because once I saw the games line up, to me, it wasn't worth upgrading for it at that particular time, right? They canceled Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was doing just like, oh, we're just gonna upgrade this game to this and 60 frames per second. And I'm like, well, I can already get that on PC if I just upgrade my graphics card, right? So I said, I'm gonna rebuild my PC for that specific reason. To me, I think like when just looking at the title of that article, right? Not into the weeds and reading it, just looking at the title, I would say, based off the title, there was really no need for a lot of us to upgrade just yet, because we're still playing cross-gen games. We're still playing old games. We're just playing games that look and play better because of the hardware. But there's nothing, we didn't get that, like I think you just said it a while ago, but we're not getting that lineup of games that are utilizing that power. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that you get as a new adopter of a console. You're going to deal with that space, that time period between the day it comes out, especially this gen, the day it comes out until a year or so down the road, where you start seeing games that are made for that console. And when I heard Phil come out and say, yeah, we're not doing this until, you know, we're going to support this until a year. And then Sony came out and said it indirectly a little bit later on. So like what we're getting right now from these consoles, we could have gotten to some degree, not minus like the features that we're getting, right? Mm-hmm. You're getting some games 120 frames per second, you're getting native 4K in some games, but like it didn't make any sense to me to buy a console when I could just buy a PC and get the same shit. Now, I did end up buying a console, so I've seen the differences. Like there is a difference. If you've never experienced like a dude was saying a minute ago, you haven't experienced 60 frames per second in Assassin's Creed. You haven't seen 120 frames per second in fucking Destiny. Like you've never seen that before. It is new to you. Like and that's the thing. Like as a strictly console gamer, you're gonna benefit from that. So for you guys that are strictly console guys, that is a fucking amazing for you guys. Like you know, you're getting ray tracing. You've never seen that before. You're getting 60 frames per second on games you've never seen before. So like that right there alone is a reason to buy the console. So I can disagree with what they were saying in the articles, what Brad was saying. Like that reason alone, if you got the TV, you got the fucking power, and you just want to spend $500 to get that aspect of something, there you go. That's what makes it worth it. It isn't even about the fast resume. Like it's awesome. Trust me. To fucking load in the game like a minute earlier than everybody else. That's great. It's a fucking cool feature, right? But to me, like that ray tracing alone is a benefit. The faster load times, the smart delivery, the transferring games and shit like that shit is just an added bonus. So the article isn't specifically wrong because you can still play those games. You're just gonna miss those features. You can still play, Destiny 2. You can still play that. You were playing it just before this consoles came out. You can still play The Witcher. You can still play Cyberpunk. Is it gonna look as good? No. Is it gonna play as fast? Are you gonna get 30 frames per second in fucking Assassin's Creed or 60 frames per second that you get on PC? No. But but you can still play that game on an Xbox One X right now. And you're not gonna lose any of the story. You're not gonna lose any of the, you're just gonna be missing out on some of the features that are there. And that's why you upgrade. You upgrade right now, at least for this generation. You're not upgrading for the games. For the first time ever, you're upgrading for the features. Like that's the difference between this generation that we're going into and the other generations that we've had in the past. And we gotta kind of get that out of our mindset. Like we typically expect a new generation to come with new games. And maybe with all this shit going on in the world right now, maybe we would have gotten 1 or 2 or 3, like next gen, like we're gonna blow the water out the fucking eye sockets with this game. But it didn't happen for specific reasons. And there's been a lot of delays, there's been all this other bullshit, right? But for you guys out there that are coming from the Series X, I'll give you a perfect example, right? I got the PlayStation 5. I fired it up the other day. I played a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima, right? When I played it before, I played it on the PS Slim, not the Pro, the Slim. But when I looked at it on my 4K TV, not my monitor, I actually played it on the TV. I looked at it and I was like, holy shit. I didn't get any of this shit when I played it. Like I was like really impressed. So like seeing that upgrade from Ghost of Tsushima PS Slim to Ghost of Tsushima PS5 was, and I don't think they did it. They didn't do anything to that game. It just looked a lot better. And I probably could have got that if I got in the Pro, but like I didn't get the Pro. I was playing on the Slim. So like, and I know just seeing that transformation from the Slim to the 5 in that game specifically, if I can get that out of every game that I play from the Series X, I'm sorry, from the 1X to the Series X, y'all are gonna be fucking happy. Like that was amazing. Like it was like an eye popper. Like it's just everything it showed up, So I don't think necessarily for people upgrading, did they upgrade for the games? No. You upgraded for the features. And that's what makes it worth it right now. You're upgrading, like, because a lot of us upgraded from the Xbox One to the Xbox One X, and all we got out of it was features. We didn't get new games for it. We just got like better looking games out of it, right? Like that's so. I mean,
in the Xbox ecosystem, that's what it is. The games move with you. The games are all there in the ecosystem. There's no separation.
They just look better. They don't do anything to it. It just looks better because you got better hardware. So I mean, so if you're like some of these people, there's still people out there still like there's people out there for a while that were still playing the 360 forever, and they eventually upgraded, and I'm sure their eyes are popping. But like, if you upgrade from the for me I came from the PS Pro. I'm sorry, the PS Slim to the PS5. I missed out on some shit in between there. I played God of War on the Slim. I played Ghost of Tsushima on the Slim. I didn't lose any experience, like just the gameplay wise. I just missed out on some of the features that I could have gotten had I gotten a Pro. But like I can tell you from experience by looking at the two, especially specifically with Ghost of Tsushima, and I played Call of Duty on it too. Like there's a difference there, and that's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying that premium price for these new consoles for. So, like I'm a PC guy, but I'm not gonna go backwards, but but I will still play my X. I mean, I'm still gonna play when I get my PS5.
Albert,
at some
you already
point.
got a PS5, man. Who are you trying to play?
No, that's my stepson. I actually mailed that off the other day. I played Ghost of Tsushima on it for a little bit. I mailed it off. I just wanted to see what it looked like.
Hold on,
I had to set it up.
Albert G is your stepson?
Oh, you talking about Albert in the chat? Sorry.
Yeah. No, he's like, oh, so you're saying that the PlayStation 5 is the best console? He's like, I'm gonna go get a PS5 now because he said it's amazing. Like,
it's a cherry picker, man.
He is trolling so hard right now, and I swear there are some people falling for it as well. Albert is here every week, by the way. Yo, shout out to you, man, and the support. Instead
of playing his PlayStation 5 games that he so covets, he's in here in the Xbox centric podcast. I don't get it. Like,
he can spend
people
his
love
Thursday
to troll
nights.
Sometimes
He can spend his Thursday nights wherever he wants to.
Hey, I mean, I ain't knocking the dude, but like, if you're gonna come here touting your shit, you should be playing it.
Right? Like, I mean,
Xbox podcast.
Damn, yeah, bro.
Get out of here. I mean, it'd be different if it was a PlayStation 5 podcast, but it's not. It's an Xbox.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You could be playing Ghost of Tsushima online or fucking Uncharted or some shit like that.
Well, guys, on that note, guys, we have done, and Predator so kindly reminded me before that we have done a little bit of a marathon here. And first off, I want to shout out everybody in the chat who hung out with us this whole time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Even though the show was long, I think it was entertaining all the way through. I had an absolute blast doing the show tonight with you guys, and I had an absolute blast doing a show for the first time with my brother Mav, aka Fun Speculation. Now, we are getting into the outros and stuff like that fun. So I gotta say it because it's become a tradition. Like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get the plugs in. And Fun Speculation, man, I gotta say it was a lot of fun having you on the show. I hope you had a lot of fun, just talking games with me and the rest of the panel. I would love to have you on again as well in the future. So if you did, let me know if you had fun spending your Thursday night with us, and of course let me know if you will at least consider coming back on again. But you got to let people know about your YouTube channel, about your Twitch channel. Twitter, you are active on Twitter as well. You got to let people know where they can go to check out your content. Of course, I did put the links in the description below, but also where they can go to talk games with you, brother. And again, I had a blast tonight, man. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us on this Thursday.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, so I'm glad one of us had a good experience because this was awful. I hated it.
Okay, kind of
no, I'm just kidding, man. No, it was great.
I blame K-Mega, by the way.
I had a blast. I always love talking about video games, almost as much as I love playing them. So yeah, I will definitely be back as long as you're willing to have me, man.
All right,
just let me know when. Yeah, and I'll definitely be here. And tomorrow night, speaking of plugs, Mr. Xbot 448 will be on my podcast, Xbox Ultimate Podcast.
Oh, you're gonna have that dude. He's a fraud. Why are you gonna have him on your show, man? I don't know.
I don't know, man. He doesn't even have a Series X, so I mean, no, I'm just messing, dude.
Oh, you just made K-Mega smile right there. I hope you know that. Yeah.
No, Xbot, love having you on tomorrow. With also PTK from Shop Podcast. Also, those of you that know 3-Bit, he actually works in the industry. Also an amazing Halo player. So those are going to be my guests tomorrow night with my wife, Caitlin. She also co-hosts the podcast with me. So again, that's on my YouTube channel, Fun Speculation. It's the Xbox Ultimate Podcast, Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can also check it out on all of the audio platforms, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. This will be our 19th episode.
Nice.
So I do stream as well. I started multi-streaming, trying to check that out, but most of my streams are on YouTube, actually, on the Fun Speculation YouTube channel. Also, but you can check it out on Twitch, Fun Speculation. My Twitter handle is at Fun Speculation, so send me a message, send me a DM if you want to hit me up, or give me a follow. I'll follow you back. And then let's see what else is there. On Saturday, I think I have something. I think I forgot. I can't remember. It's been crazy, man. There's been a lot of stuff going on the last week.
Yo,
it's nuts, dude. I can't keep up. I need to start a schedule. Yeah. So, yeah, check it out, guys. YouTube Fun Speculation, Twitter Fun Speculation, all that.
Nice, brother. And I gotta say he is checking his BlackBerry and checking his calendar to make sure to see when he has open times and stuff like that. I will reserve a future Thursday to have him on again, guys. But let's move on here and let's go to Predator, man. I remember I used to start with him all the time because he wanted to get the hell out of Hangouts, but now we are in Google Meets, and obviously it
changes things, right?
It is more sophisticated in here. It's you get more comfortable. It's more nuanced or whatnot. But no, Predator. Dude, I gotta ask. Well, first off, you gotta let people know about all the places you are on the internet. I know you are trying to make your first internet million. With certain subscriptions and stuff like that. You gotta let people know about that. And if you're gonna be a guest on any shows, man, I'm surprised. Podcasts got to be lining up outside your door, just waiting to get you on as a special guest. So where are you gonna be? What's going on this week coming, bro?
Well, actually, you're the only person that likes me enough to have me on the podcast right now. So, I'm gonna read the super chat real quick. K-Meg and the other guys making fun of us Xbox peasants for not having a Series X.
Yes.
That came from the Friendly Neighborhood Blue Show.
I like how he has other in quotation.
Other guy, yeah.
The
other guy.
Snap.
Yo, great. Shout out to Blue Show. Thank you, brother. You are amazing.
Next week, obviously, I'll be here Thursday. And I'll just be gaming on my PC, man. I'm waiting on Cyberpunk. So let me see. I need to get in some Destiny too. I want to play a little bit more of that. I haven't really gotten into that yet. And then it's just basically going to be fucking Cyberpunk after the 10th. So that's all I'll be playing for a while. So next week, hey, hit me up. Twitter, Predator_HOS, Xbox, PlayStation. You can find me on OnlyFans, MySpace, whatever. Just find me out there somewhere. So.
Dude, you got to make it OnlyFans. Like if you don't,
I'm not gonna make OnlyFans.
Did he just say MySpace?
Yes.
Yeah, I did say MySpace.
I went a world back.
Tinder,
like 10 years
whatever.
Ago, dude.
Tinder, fucking.
You can find him
Black
on
Planet.
You can find him on Netscape and AOL chats. Like he's there as well.
YouTube chat. Hey, I'm everywhere. So
go check on your Napster torrents after.
There you go.
LimeWire.
Yo, brother.
Shit. And if you guys miss me, you can always catch me on anything Microsoft has killed off, like Groove Music. I got podcasts on there.
Yeah, I'm done. Fred, cut the mic.
I'm done. All right, see y'all next week.
Nice. Crispy, you are a podcaster extraordinaire, man. You are on multiple shows. Always love having you on here on Thursdays, man. Dropping that hashtag Crispy Truth. But for people in the chat who might not know, you got to let them know about the other shows you're on and any other information you want to share with them about yourself, whether social media, gamer tags, anything like that, brother. Now is the time, bro.
It's always a pleasure to be on the next podcast with my brothers. Even Mav, you have become yes. You talked about how me and Xbot don't have a Series X. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28, Xbox Live. Hit me up. Yes, I will teach you how to play Gears. Just ask Jesse Darby. Yes, I will try. If you don't have a mic, it's going to be a major issue. Just saying. But you got to hear the feedback. Just saying. Botch been trying to teach me how to play golf. So
dude, I don't have to teach you anything, man. Like
Olga Bomb in the house.
Yeah, you just release Olga on the course, and that's it, yo.
But it's tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Breakfast with Boom, and we got Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And of course, you could always find me here Thursday, 7 p.m. on the next podcast. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Nice, brother. And last but certainly not least, because again, he was the first person I ever talked to about this podcast. And no, nobody out there on social media told me to go talk to him. No, it was strictly me.
You are putting the emphasis on that now.
Automatically thinking about this man as a part of the next podcast. Of course, K Mega, my brother from another mother, the man who was with me ever since we were talking about games on Facebook, man. It has been a while, dude. Every once in a while I try to go back to Facebook and I'm like, nah, I'm good, yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I'll keep Facebook for the family members and stuff like that, and you know, the close friends in terms of like the messaging and stuff. But Mega, you know, it's Thursday. You have a huge show coming up tomorrow. I know you want to let people know about that. We did see Slick. I was gonna say it the way you did. Slick Sayer or Sick Slayer.
Slick Slayer. Yeah.
In the chat, a part of the GRG family. So you know, gotta let them know about GRG tomorrow. What's going on with your YouTube channel and you know your streaming. You got a lot of stuff going on, man, in terms of content that people can get into. Where are you going with it tonight, man? What's going on here?
Man, I'm finna still keep prepping for GRG, man. I was deep. I was going to play some Halo 5 last night, and then I just got caught up all day yesterday working on my little gadget, the Stream Deck. I've had it for a couple of weeks, and so I was like, man, I'm finna really learn how to work this thing. This thing is amazing. But this is something that maybe if you get a chance to invest in, even the little. I
have the 12 button. I'm still trying to learn how to use it though.
Oh, bro, I've been in there and I'd sit there and I got into it, man, and I broke through and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to just learn tonight. So without any help, I feel pretty good about that. My old ass here and got it done. So then I went back into the GRG podcast Discord. So the link is in there if y'all guys want to come in there. And liven it up because it's been dormant, a lot of cobwebs and shit. Bring your flashlight, turn the power back on because it's been dead for a while. But hope you guys come in there, just have a good time, man. Really would appreciate it. And then of course, you know, tomorrow this GRG podcast, going to have a blast. I got 2 expected guests. Hopefully they'll come in. Jago Jago supposed to be coming on, and then and you're gonna be surprised about this, but Mr. Bit himself, the one that called me all different types of names.
Really?
Cali. No. So they're supposed to be coming on GRG tomorrow. So that would be great.
Bad Bit on GRG, huh?
Yeah, so that would be fun. So yeah, so they have it, and of course, Lemon and everybody will be there. So, or 108 Dragons in the family. So check out that. And man, I might be being somewhere. I might be on another podcast coming up here pretty soon, man. So you'll find out this weekend if I'm going to be on there. But other than that, man, check me out on Twitch. I do stream. I'm back to being to stream pretty heavy. Tonight I'm going to prep, so I probably won't be streaming tonight, but I'll definitely be streaming after GRG tomorrow night, and Saturday I'll probably stream as well. Don't know what I'll play, but it'll be something. But probably get back and do some sports. I don't know, Sea of Thieves or whatever, something. I don't know, hell. And then of course every Sunday night, Fight Night Sundays.
Fight Night.
Yep, come and join us. Have a good time. A lot of trash talking. It's fun, you know, all that. But other than that, man, thank you guys. I'll be here next Thursday as usual. Man, being with the first family, you know what I'm saying? So let's go do this, man. Have a good night.
Nice, brother. And shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up the super chat one more time. He said Predator was there for the first email in the 80s. Yeah, he actually was the one who received the email, and it was an invitation to open up an OnlyFans account. Like that's what it was back in the 80s. That was the first email, and it was to Predator. So, yo, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for all the support. Shout out to everybody that hung out with us tonight, guys. Thank you so much for the support for this channel, this show. There is more content coming. Of course, this is not only the home of the next podcast that you watched here tonight, but it is also the home of the Series X podcast. It is a podcast where we only talk about Xbox on the show and in the chat. For anybody who's experienced that, you know it is a different show. It is definitely an Xbox show for the Xbox gamer. If you haven't checked that out yet, definitely check that out. I do have it scheduled for Sundays. I think we will be good for this Sunday, and hopefully, because I'm working on kind of like a job change here, hopefully we'll be good to go every Sunday for the Series X. But when it comes to the next podcast, it is always on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, that is the Lord's time, the East Coast time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I really, really do appreciate it. And I'm going to end the show the way I do every week. We will see you next week for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
The Lord don't even know Delaware exists.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Delaware. Shout out to Delaware.
I'm sorry, Connecticut.
Shout out to Delaware.
Connecticut.
Connecticut.